gentlemen, welcome to the It's Erik Nagel Show. That is me. Phone lines are open. 866-969-1969. That is the number to call and talk and try to win something or contribute to the show in some small shape or form. E-Rock Radio on Twitter and Instagram for me. But for the show, it's Erik Nagel, Twitter, Instagram. I think there's a Snapchat that's just sitting there collecting dust.
Nice.
Facebook, YouTube, all the original, the usual hangouts for social media, and we're there, whether we've contributed or not. Sitting to my right, as always, each and every week, it's my co-host, Matt O.G. How are you, sir?
I am all right. I mean, I would have been better if I won the Powerball, but I'm here. So I guess that's good.
By the fact that you've heard me and Matt, you can deduce that we did not win Powerball. Let's see if Giddles is here. Giddles!
I didn't win Powerball.
Oh, God damn it.
I did not win, but I saw that. I feel like it was another bearded gentleman who won, so good on him.
I didn't see any of the winners. I just saw, right after the numbers were announced, that it goes, there was a winner, but guess what? You don't live in Chino Hills, California. And I'm like, fuck you, ABC7.
Yeah,
There's three winners, I think, right? There were three, like Tennessee, California, and Florida.
There's a nicer, well, before they figured out the others, it was just that one place, and they cut to a live feed or pre-recorded feed of the guy at 7-Eleven going nuts. Like, you didn't win, you just sold the ticket.
And but I think you win if you sell the ticket. Like, you get a good chunk.
They get a commission of the lotto sales. I think most of the places were breaking, like, I think the commissions were like $10 million or something like that.
And did you see all the rubes popping up on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook? Some guy was pretending he was the winner and saying if he got like 10,000 followers, he was going to give away like $1,500 to the first 10,000 followers. And people are like following him and retweeting it and regramming it. And I'm like, you people are fucking morons. It's a Photoshop picture. It's like...
I was bored.
Some homeless dude.
I needed something to do since I didn't win Powerball.
Well... Because you had the whale and the gun. You were getting ready to launch it to the moon.
If you joined us last week, we whittled it down to what we do with our Powerball winnings, that we would bring the South Park episode to life, where we would launch a killer whale to the moon and just leave it there next to the lunar module and the flag to prove that the moon landing did happen.
Yep.
See, Elon Musk was involved and he was ready to go, but the money did not come through. Let's go to what's on today's show. There's a lot to do, and we only have 3 hours to do it in. Billions. Yes. Brand new show on Showtime, which premieres this Sunday at 10 p.m. Brian Koppelman, the director and writer, will be calling in probably in about 20 minutes to talk about this.
Oh, nice.
But until then, we have some stars of the show.
Ooh.
Mr. Dan Soder is here.
Hi, E-Rock.
Hi, Dan.
That was one of my favorite South Park episodes.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was the old...
Mexican NASA.
Right.
Sea fly.
The way it ended
fly.
was the old network-style Sirius episode ending, where there was no applause, no music. It was just quiet, and you heard the graphics as they're saying, like, produced by, directed by, written by, and all that. And you just see a whale with its tongue out laying dead on the moon. I really wish we won Powerball.
The things we would have done.
At Dan Soder on Twitter and Instagram there. And, of course, he's on The Bonfire, which is on Comedy Central Radio 95 here at SiriusXM, Monday and Wednesday nights, 6 to 8, right?
Yes, sir.
How come not a 5 or 4 day week gig?
That is a very layered and deep question, mostly because I like doing 2 days of work.
Okay.
Good answer.
Well, being on the road and doing other stuff, it's hard to get in 4 days a week.
Do you ever try to do, or did they talk to you about trying to do podcast version? Like, oh, since you're on the road.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. Comedy Central has never done really a live show before. So I think Jay and I are just reaping the benefits of that by doing anything that we want to do, which is great. We just get to bullshit 2 days a week. So it's fun.
It is fun.
And it's been great, and the reception's awesome, and the campers are great.
There's been more days than I'd like to admit that I've been here this late, and they're starting their show, so I see Dan and Jay come in, and usually when you walk past the glass, you can't hear it, so when, arms are flailing, somebody's trying to dance, and you're like, I don't want to know.
Yeah, and we bother every show around us. That's been the best part. It's been harassing,
it is fun because...
like all these golf shows. And then we do because they got to be serious, and they're like, well, the back nine, usually you want to play an iron, and then we're having them come in and play Fuck, Marry, Kill. So it's been fun.
But you got to speak in the very tongue, in the golf tone.
Approaching the fuck is Diana.
Speaking of Fuck, Marry, Kill, I realized Christmas Eve on NBC they were airing the
This sounds like a really great game show.
So you could introduce me. I didn't.
No, we're getting to you. Hang on. The
Sure,
movie.
it's not Minute to Win It.
It's A Wonderful Life.
Okay.
It's A Wonderful
How does that
Life.
tie into Fuck, Marry, Kill? Because I'm really confused.
Okay, I'm going to show you. So I haven't seen this movie in many years, and I watched the movie, and I'm realizing that, George Bailey's kind of a dick, but everyone comes to his rescue at the end, but he tries to be a good guy, but he's really just, pissed off that his life is the way it is, and he didn't want this. He didn't want the family that he has. And then realizes, he was rich all along. But the way he is with the women in this show is a fuck, marry, kill. Because there's the blonde girl that's hot and always all over him, but he doesn't do anything. That's Violet. So that would be the fuck. And he married Mary. And then you should kill Mr. Potter. So I'm like, wow. Once I'm watching this, I'm like, he's got his own fuck, marry, kill going.
Yeah, but I think the whole point of Fuck, Marry, Kill is that any three could be any three, and I don't think he's going to fuck Mr. Potter.
Well, the two
not
girls.
with that attitude.
Not exactly right. Mr. Potter had all the bank in the town. You never know how desperate he would get to save that loan emporium or whatever it was called.
He could have done an Anna Nicole Smith.
Right.
Just married an old billionaire.
Well, that was that. And also from Billions is Catherine Callahan, returning to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Last time you were here, it was with Katie McGuire for Long Island Divas.
It was.
And then you guys had to leave pretty promptly because you were going to yet another award ceremony or festival or something like that.
That's right. For LI Divas. And we kicked arse and did very well.
You won.
Katie McGuire. Best Actress. She's going to love that I shouted that out.
There you go.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
Thank
Katie.
you. We had a good night.
So the series is doing well.
It's doing very well.
Still self-produced. Nobody's kind of said, hey, you won all these awards, let's pick it up.
Oh, and how dare they? I mean, I thought after being on the show last time that we'd be rich and famous by now. But.
Right. Sell that thing for billions and let them take it over and drive it into the ground.
Exactly.
And you walk away unscathed.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah.
So we're premiering our second season February 18th.
Okay.
We have a couple of teasers in January. So look out for that. lidivas.com. You can find us on the YouTube.
And wherever books are sold.
All right, there it is.
So that's out there. But let's talk about the big thing that's happening this weekend, Sunday, 10 p.m. on Showtime, is this brand new show, Billions. Brian Koppelman's vehicle here. Dan Soder's part of it. Catherine is part of it here. We got some episodes in advance.
Yeah, you guys have seen more. How many have you seen?
I've only seen one.
I've only seen one too.
Right. Well,
So
we've
you've
seen more
seen
than
us in
one.
it then?
Yes.
Is that why? That was the whole point, I guess. I'm a little slow. I blacked out for like 5 minutes.
Without really spoiling anything, more of a viewer's guide.
Yeah.
Dan shows up in episode 2.
I do.
So if you're looking in episode 1, a lot of great stuff's happening, but Dan pops in 2.
Yeah.
And
I believe I do as well.
Are you
No?
in 2 or are you 3?
Yeah, I
We're
think
both
so.
episode
Yeah,
2ers.
2.
There you go. That's what they
episode
call. What
2ers.
is the term? That's what they call the hook episode.
That's right.
That's the
Get you
episodes.
hooked.
The first episode's like, okay, this is intriguing, and then the next one is the one that gets you hooked
right.
into the series, and then you got to binge watch it.
You can't
just get-
resist us.
You get to see my big head being obnoxious.
So when you go on stage now, or in the next few weeks,
Yeah, tonight.
do you get announced as you know him from the show Billions on Showtime?
Yeah, but I mean, I think in comedy clubs most of the time it's just like, comedy related things. But yeah, absolutely. Of course, Billions is a credit. It's my biggest credit ever.
Does that really? I guess on a marquee or a website or something that might entice people to come. But when they're there, are they really there because we're Dan Soder fans or we're fans of comedy, or is it like, no, I saw you on the Tonight Show and that's why I'm here?
I think there's been people that have seen me on Conan that have came out to see me, but mostly it's like Opie and Jimmy, Bonfire. It's mostly like the Bonfire. That's why I said the reception has been great, because people have been coming out for that. And when we did the special taping, there was like a bunch of fans. So I think that resonates the most, but also just stand up. And I think people that just get used to hearing you or knowing, finding out about you.
Right.
It can be like a band where people are like, I didn't know you existed a week ago, and now I'm a fan. And you're like, oh, cool, thank you. Thank you for coming out to the Cleveland Hilarities.
I was harassing you on Twitter and you blocked me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm never coming to your show again.
That's fine with me, though, too. Because you're just, editing out all the shitty people that might be out. But, yeah, I'd definitely probably say, maybe there'll be, I think with something like a show like Billions, somebody might be watching it with like their girlfriend.
Right.
And then I'll pop up and they're like, I know him from his radio show. So that's kind of cool. You know, and just like Long Island Divas, she'll pop up and people will be like, "Oh, I know her from Long Island Divas." That's how it kind of works. But this is such a fucking cool show to be a part of. That
right. When you do a show like this, and I mean a major premium network for
the
billions.
Catering is exceptional.
Oh yeah,
the catering
services.
was unbelievable.
It's the only reason why we're in the business.
Yeah.
I mean,
they have like those trucks where they cook you anything you want.
Dude, they had an omelet guy every morning.
Was it you that told the story about you can't have coffee?
What?
Somebody came on Opie and Jimmy and talked about craft services, and they didn't. Oh,
that was me.
It was you and Malin Ackerman.
Matt Malin was on Opie and Jimmy, and I was on.
She couldn't get coffee.
No, it was. I think that happened to her once. That happened to me a bunch, where I would go down to where they are, and because there's so many extras at the office where Axe Capital is. People would try to go get coffee. And like extras, if you're not in SAG, you can't have access to this certain area of craft services. So sometimes I would go down and they'd be like, "What's your number?" Jesus. What's your number?
Right.
And I'd be like, 35. And they're like, "All right, now you can have a coffee."
This is for 20 and up.
Yeah. But
they denied Mullen coffee too.
I think that happened one
That's
time.
awesome.
And I think what's funny is I was like, you know, like you basically, these extras are sitting around and you start to you hang out with people.
Yeah.
And I was talking to this girl and she's like, I was like, "I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. You want to go?" She's like, "Yeah." We walked downstairs and they kicked her out.
Oh
and I was
my
like,
God.
"How do you take your coffee?" And they were like, "She can't have any of the coffee."
It's not a way to impress a chick.
You're like, "All right, dude."
So you guys like do the other people like look down on you?
No.
Like, oh, well, those are the coffee guys.
No. I
No,
think
we look down on them.
Yeah. You're like, you can't even have coffee.
Right.
Yeah.
You should have just shown up the next day with like boxes of Joe. You would have been a fucking hero.
Yeah.
Munchkins.
Just fed all the extras. I'm your leader now. This show's taking a turn.
You're the Rat King.
I'm the boss now.
McDonald's hash browns.
Yeah. For everyone, turn against you.
Holding Mullen King Kong style.
Exactly. That would have been great.
Brian sneaking in from the back line when he has open access to everything. He just wants those hash browns.
Yeah. But that was like a weird experience. But besides that, the catering was top notch.
Well, that's not what I was asking, but that's good to know.
Okay.
When you have a show like this, before it comes on, does that help you? Like, you shoot the show, for those who don't know, it's shot way in advance, and it takes a while before it actually makes the air. You have that credit already. Can you use that credit for other jobs, or you have to wait for it to come on air before you can say, Dan Soder from Billions?
Oh, absolutely.
Or Catherine from Billions.
Yeah, you could absolutely use it for another job. Like a show like Billions, which has never been on.
Right.
I think you say it to people and they're like, "I don't," because they have no point of reference.
Right.
So they're just like, "I don't know
what
what
the network
that
is credible.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so you can use it before it comes on to get other jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you toss in Showtime, you toss out Paul Giamatti, you toss out a couple of big names there until it gets some ground. Some
we
traction.
don't personally. Our agents do the dirty work. Go.
Oh.
But what's funny is like when I was trying to tell people about it, like I said, no one has a point of reference, so everyone ended up sounding like my aunt, where they're like, "When's the show? Billionaires? What's it called? Billion Boys?" And you're like, "It's just called Billions. It's just called Billions."
Do your family ask for advance copies?
No.
No?
No, my mom.
Or do they not
my
even
mom
think
got
about
Showtime.
that? Yeah.
My mom went out and bought Showtime.
Yeah,
So
we forced everybody
There you
to-
go, Showtime, pushing Trish to get a premium pay cable when she's a nanny. You sons of bitches. That's going to be, if I get brought back for season 2, that's going to be in my contract. You give my mother a free subscription to Showtime.
Here's something you need to pass along to your family, both of you.
Okay.
Especially the older relatives in your family.
Yeah.
Watch the show on DVR within 3 days, because that's part of the ratings.
Okay.
So if you didn't watch it that night,
keep
that's
watching.
fine. Yeah, watch it overnight. But if you don't, you have up to 3 days where the ratings count on the DVR. Past
way.
that point, it doesn't help you
I just
anymore.
learned something new.
Look at us. That's why we come here.
This is why you'll get so far.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. A mandatory DVR watching in 3 days.
Right.
Does that work for everything?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how a lot of the networks do it too. They have your overnight ratings, and then they factor in 3 days of DVR, because a lot of the shows are on like your Sunday night or nights where people got to work and they don't get a chance to watch. They'll watch it the next day when they get home, so they count those numbers up to, I think, 3 days.
Sweet.
And that's gets factored into the ratings overall.
Okay.
So it's like, oh, you got 12 million the first night, but then look, but in 3 days you were really at 16 million.
So everybody, let's cook the books.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody, multiple DVRs, watch it, leave it on,
DVR it, skim through it to the very end so it counts, and then do what you want.
No binge watching of the show.
Watch the full show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not waiting for that on-demand stuff.
Yeah, no binge watching, no on demand.
So
Go right for the gold.
What was it like shooting, for both of you, what was it like shooting a TV show of this caliber? I mean, obviously fun and a great experience, but does it weigh heavily on you? Like, this is a Showtime show. This is a big deal.
I kept being ready for them to be like, yeah, you need to leave.
There was a mix-up. The guy next to you was supposed to get this. Who let this guy in?
And there's like scenes.
What's your number?
Van Boder.
Yeah. Oh my God, your name's not Todd Motor. Oh, there's a guy that needs work. I think like a lot of it was I had a couple intense scenes with Damien.
Right.
And it was just like, there's like scenes of just getting yelled at. You don't realize it's like 7 hours. What's like a 3-minute scene can take up to 7 hours of just like different angles. And like, he's just screaming at me. And I'm like, And then I'm like, at the end, I'm like, was that okay? And they're like, you got yelled at so well.
Now we have to do it from the left.
That's right.
Exactly.
So it's not multiple cameras getting it at every angle?
Yeah, there are, but they, I mean, this is a major show, so they're like, the different directors, the different, Koppelman and Levine, Brian Koppelman and David Levine created it and wrote it. And then they had these amazing directors. So directors would want different takes, different shots, and, maybe get it a different way.
Right.
But it's like,
I mean, when you get the job, I feel like you kind of, you're doing a job. You get on set, it's your job. I think the freak out, and plus it's a new show, so we don't, I mean, it's amazing when we read the script, but we don't know where it's going to go. So I don't think the pressure's on. I think you're on set and you do your job, and that's the first thing that comes to mind. And it's fun. You're acting with these amazing, brilliant actors.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's the part.
That's what you
like,
really think about at the time.
You're just like, oh, this guy's fucking great. You just see guys like so good at their jobs, and you're like, oh man, it's like trying to play catch with Peyton Manning or something that does,
Or are you one of those guys like, wow, Paul Giamatti, I am not this good. I will never be this good.
Yeah, but you just bury it deep, deep down.
That's right. You don't tell anybody.
Pig vomit is yelling at me.
Yeah.
Well, with Mullen, I mean, there are a couple of scenes where we just do it over and over again. And at one point, it was 7 hours, one of those days. I turned to her, I was like, you don't really hate me, do you? It's one of those moments where you got to take it personally. They're so good.
And then later on, your personally, you just get a text in the middle of the night. I do.
Yeah.
I can't go to work tomorrow. So do you ever sit there worrying, like, does Brian...
Hello?
Hi, Brian. Does he ever sit there and look at you while you're doing your things and like, oh my God, I can't read it right. I don't think he was happy with that take. Or...
I mean, I would ask, hey, what's up, Koppelman?
Yo, I just like hearing Soder like act all professional and everything.
Well, that's the thing. Is like
explain how it works. Listen, I've done 9 episodes of television. Now let me explain how.
Oh no, Koppelman, I wasn't doing it like that. I was explaining it merely from an honest standpoint of just being like, why the fuck am I here?
No, he's waxing. He's acting like he's Jack Benny.
Yeah,
he's like, oh, TV's old hat to this old salt.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I was doing.
Remember when I did season 1 of Billions?
I wasn't taking this all inside the actor's studio. I was being honest. And what the best part is, I've known Koppelman for a long time. We're buddies, and so it was one of those things where literally after a take, I'd be like, "Was that okay?" How many times did I do that to you? I think every take you were on set for.
Yeah, but both of you were terrific in the show, and of course, for Dan, in all seriousness, yeah, I mean, Dan and I are good friends and have been for a long while, which would have sucked if I would have had to fire you.
Yeah, that would have been. There honestly was a part of me that was waiting for this like awkward conversation between me, you, and Levine, where you're like, "Yeah, we got to get rid of you," and you're like, God damn it."
No, I know, but it was because you do when you hire a friend in something like this. I mean, you never hire a friend unless you know they can fucking kill it. But there is always way in the back of your mind that thing like Donnie Brasco or something like, well, I may have to call him to the boss's house. You know?
That's. I think I was waiting for that clear until the end of the last episode. I was like, okay, well now we've gone through all 12 episodes. So what are they going to do? And there's still a part of me because I have Irish blood in me.
You're good at protecting yourself, man. You get my kids into the comedy club.
That's what you got to do. I send a nice wine.
Yeah, you're not going to let there be. I mean, you practically said, may your next child be a masculine. It's really hard to make sure that your status is.
Yeah. Dan was worried the whole time he'd walk into an office and have that Joe Pesci moment. Just go, oh no. And then it's over.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then meanwhile, Big J's banging on a payphone somewhere in Queens when he finds out.
That's exactly right.
Brian Koppelman, of course, the creator, writer, everything for Billions and getting this thing off the ground here. I think you better than anybody could tell us what is the overall gist of the show here and the feel, because there's a couple of different influences I find in the show. But tell everybody what this show really is about.
I'm interested in your influences. I want to hear I want to hear your point of view. But yeah, the show which I created with my partner. And Andrew Ross Sorkin and Dave and I are the showrunners. Sorry, I'm on a street. It's set in the world of hedge funds and United States attorneys, and it's about really ambitious, powerful people trying to get even more, trying to become even more successful, gain even more power. And these are people who live enormous lives. They're in complex, really deep marriages. They have groups of friends that they really care about, but they are because of their positions. One's this hedge fund titan, that's Damian Lewis, and the other's United States attorney, that's Paul Giamatti. They have the power of like nation states, you know. They are like, because if you think about a billionaire, it's somebody with like a fleet of ships, like a flotilla. They have airplanes, a fleet of airplanes. They have people with arms around them all the time. They are able to kind of walk around in a kind of bubble, almost like American oligarchs. And so that's what the show is about. And in a time where, like, Mark Cuban is our biggest reality star and Trump is who he is, it's a great time to kind of examine why we love and we're fascinated by really charismatic, incredibly successful people. And on the other side, with this U.S. attorney who's equally powerful, you look up last night on the stage, Chris Christie mentioned that he used to be a U.S. attorney. And so many of these people who were United States attorneys who were supposed to be only thinking about the public good, 3 years later, they're running for national office. They're governor or they're a mayor. And so we're really interested in the question of how do people try to keep themselves pure? Do they try to keep themselves pure when there's so much that they can grab and so much they can benefit from? And so that's the setting. That's the world that we're dealing with.
It's Damian Lewis's role in this. You love him, you hate what he's doing, but you do love him as a character and a person. But you watch everything he does, and you're like, this guy could be the devil.
Yeah,
he's hiding out in the open, right in front of you, and he's telling you everything straightforward. He's not lying, but he's telling you the truth, but nobody's believing it. And then the ones who are believing are like, wait, do I believe this? Like, you're always confused to what he's saying and doing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Soder has one of the sort of signature scenes. No spoilers, and if either of you two say any spoilers, you won't. I can walk the line here, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But Soder has a real kind of signature scene that teases that exact thing out towards the back of the season, where you're really not sure how it's going to go for him in this like kind of extended sequence with Damian, and Damian's a master at using his. Legendary screenwriter Scott Silver, Academy Award nominee. I'm on a radio show right now. He did. Hey, Silver, you want to say, hey, you wrote 8 Mile. Hey, Scott. Hey, dude.
Yeah, what's up?
Anyway, yeah, he really did walk by. That was
awesome.
him. He doesn't want to go on the radio, though. But that really was. I'm just walking down the street. That's like I'm just walking down the street, and I'm Soder, like some center from the 70s, Bill Winnington or something. And then fucking Chamberlain just walked by. Soder, Damian is a master at using his stillness as an actor. He's able, right, to be so just calm and still and makes you come to him and try to figure out what the fuck is going on. And on the other side, Giamatti just is able to radiate a level of intelligence and power and control that's staggering. All the actors in the show would come up to us after takes and just be like, I can't believe I just worked with that person. They're so incredible. And the women also, Maggie Siff and Malin Ackerman. So, it's
great choices, by the way.
Incredibly high level. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, I really liked.
I think so too.
I really liked about Damian Lewis's character because I felt like he was really just like cold, calculating, and just I don't know. Like he just kind of makes my skin crawl, but I want to kind of get to know him in like a more of a way.
I want to go for
just
coffee with the guy.
Yeah, but I feel like he's gonna buy the coffee and throw it in my face, and then be like, "Enjoy your coffee."
I thought you guys aren't allowed to talk. I thought you guys aren't allowed to talk about Mel Karmazin at all.
Oh, well, he's not here anymore. He took a nice parachute and left.
No, all that stuff is true about the character and about Damien. But when you're around really powerful people, often really powerful men like that, they are inscrutable sometimes. It is hard to understand. They're so good at separating their agendas. They're so good at enlisting you in what they want you to do and convincing you that they have your interests at heart. And it's only later that you realize you were skinned alive, or that in fact that they did take care of you. And so we wanted to, that's part of what the show talks about.
You did a good job when the premiere is this Sunday, 10 p.m. on Showtime. In the first episode, you're introducing the characters and the situations and stuff, and it's kind of drawing a line of who's good and who's bad. But as the series goes on, you really start to question like who's on what side and where that person is in their life.
Yes. I'm not. That's it. That's what you're. Yeah, that's all true. People definitely should watch Sunday nights at 10 and find out what all that means and why.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then go back and listen to this and goes, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, you can link it up like a viewer guide.
Well, listen, it looks like you guys are all set to have a lot of laughs and continue this. Thanks for letting me come on and talk to you guys. Thank both of you for the great work, and let's do this again in person soon.
I would. Brian, I also want to point out, we were big fans of your 6-second screenwriting tips on Vine. You can check that out there.
Man.
But also your podcast, The Moment, which you can subscribe to on iTunes.
Which is great.
Thank you very much. Yes, iTunes.com. And you can hear Dan and Big J make each other cry.
and Brian,
okay, everybody.
Brian, before you go, do you listen to your sister's radio show?
Oh, yeah, I don't listen every day.
Right.
Because, I have what's called a life. But I love my little sister's show. Yeah, Just Jenny.
Okay.
Awesome.
Jenny Hutt is his sister.
Bye.
She's good people. Brian, thank you so much, man. We appreciate your
Bye,
time.
Brian.
Bye.
Miss you.
Now he's going to listen in and goes, I want to hear what they said. Give me a copy of that show.
We blacked out.
Do we have some firings and some edits to make?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys nailed it with Damien. He stillness is like
he could do a devil role if they ever had another show. Well, I know they're doing Lucifer on Fox, but
that looks great.
if they do put him in some kind of like evil kind of demigod kind of role, he's perfect for it.
He's so lovingly like charming,
right?
It's and really, I actually really like Malin's role, like. She's developing quite nicely without giving anything away. Like
she's got the way that role is very a little sociopathic.
Yeah, man.
She delivers things without any expression.
You guys have seen more than both of us have seen, so I can't really comment.
Let me tell you about what this guy Dan Soder does on the show.
Stinks it up.
Do you get to keep the clothes that they gave you? By the way, what about you?
No.
I
loved the pants. I wore one pair of pants the whole season.
That's awesome. See, that's great.
So
guys have it easy. We're squeezed and tucked in.
I mean, they put me in a suit a couple of times.
Oh, look at you, fancy.
You feel out of place.
But then, there was like a pair of pants where I kept begging. I was like, I think I've broken these in. And they were like, we'll see. I was like, please. And then I didn't get them.
Should have spilled something from Craft Services on it.
Tried it. By the way, cleaned and ready to go the next episode.
Catherine, how would you describe your role in the show here? Because the scenes that we've seen you in,
what have you seen?
I've at least in the first 3 episodes.
Oh, okay.
You're there, but it's mostly in a transition piece, so we don't get to really know your character, at least so far from what we've seen.
Right. I mean, I think without getting crazy and Brian stabbing me and giving things away, I think my character I'm a friend. I'm good friends with Mullen's character, which is Lara Axelrod, and I think I consider myself a little pot stirrer kind of character.
Okay.
So I come in and things happen, and then I kind of disappear and let it all flame out.
You like to point out when, like, you know what's going on, but you like to point things out to that person, to their face, to make them feel uncomfortable.
Right, which in reality that happens. There are people like that.
Some people do, but they'll do it behind their backs.
I'll do that too.
You do that, but
I do both.
Oh, double dipping.
Yeah,
very nice.
Some people take great pleasure in doing that.
That's right. People that's all they do. That's their job, is to just kind of go around and talk smack about people.
Oh, such great people. Right? The best people do that.
Dan, this guy, Scott in D.C. wants to say hi to you real quick.
Hi, Scott.
Scott, how are you, man?
Gentlemen, how are we doing this evening?
We are doing well.
Hi, thank you.
This is a two-part bit. I'm sorry, but number one, Erik, are we ever going to have you during the week, or is it only Friday nights?
As of right now, it's only Friday nights.
Okay.
Who knows what the future will hold?
All right. I'm really enjoying the show. I think it's great. And on the flip side, Soder.
Yeah.
You're a genius, dude. I think you were probably one of the funniest people out there. And
I paid him a lot of money.
I'm being serious, man.
I'll wire you the money. I
think you're really great, man.
Oh,
really
thanks, man. If you were my stepdad,
I think you're a good addition to that morning show too.
Oh, what morning? Oh, it's going on opiate. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, that's like, that's like, as a comedian, especially a guy my age, I grew up listening to all my favorite comedians be on that show. I mean, shit, I met Erik back in 2007 when we both worked at K-Rock, and I used to, like, do the overnights and just stick around to hear, like, Burr and Patrice on O&A, and so it was always crazy to me when I got to come on as a comedian. I was like, holy shit. I feel like I'm training in the same dojo as, like, all my favorite comics.
Do you ever feel like you're in a place where you belong?
No, never.
Like Showtime's like, who are you guys?
Never.
Like, comedian, like, who are you guys?
Never. I don't think I've ever been comfortable at work. The last job I was comfortable at was Bed Bath & Beyond. Unloading trucks.
Even then.
Yeah, and even then I was like, this is too sweet. All the loofahs I can steal.
He was testing all the body pillows.
Yeah, I got my pillow game was amazing when I worked at Bed Bath.
He's always spooning in the back.
I got caught. I used to take hangover naps in the pillow room at Bed Bath & Beyond. Yeah. And one time I just slept under a pile of pillows, and my manager came in and couldn't find me. And it was like the funnest game of hide and seek I ever got to play in my life.
All right, I want to say I'm glad I'm not alone in that, because I've worked 2 different jobs while doing radio in Florida.
Yeah.
One, I was unloading trucks and deliveries and stuff at Walmart for the produce and the dairy.
Okay, so the food section.
So the food section. So when the trucks with the air conditioning comes in with the ice cream and eggs and all that stuff, you wheel it into this big vault of a freezer. And on the other side of the doors where people are getting milk and eggs and things like that. But then there's a row of stuff, and then you stack everything on these huge shelves. So what I used to do is, if it was really a bad day, I took the cardboard, would lay it up on the 3rd tier.
Okay.
Right? So they can't look up and see anything. It looks like boxes. And then you stack the boxes in a open circle almost. And I would sleep up there in my flannel with my headphones on and then I would wake up in like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The truck was already done. They're not paying attention to you.
Genius.
You worked really hard at being lazy.
I did.
Like, Erik excelled at being lazy.
I also did it at a place called Steinmart down there, too. It was a furniture store, and they were just opening the store, so you're building, like, racks and shelves and everything like that.
Yeah.
So you got big boxes that are of just displays that haven't been opened yet. So if you stack them nice, they can't see. You throw a mannequin or a lamp or something on top, and you're there.
Erik builds a shed to live in. They need clothing racks. They're like, where do we put all this clothes?
If I ever become homeless, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I know how to
You've had training. You've had a lot of good training.
Yes.
Oh, hey, Scott in D.C., I'm going to be at the Arlington Draft House in February.
Good stuff, man.
At the end of February.
I just think you've been killing it in the mornings. I actually look forward to hearing you on there in the morning. I love Opie and Jimmy. They're great, but I think
you just add like another style, and the way you tell stories is amazing.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're making Dan really uncomfortable with all this positive support.
I'm blushing. But yeah, I'll be at the Draft House in Arlington, man. So get tickets at the end of February.
When you're down there too, you should do our buddy Chad Duke's show down at JFK.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'd love to have you.
Okay,
I'll put you in touch with him. Dutch in Connecticut wants to blame Dan for making his girl break up with him.
Oh,
Dutch,
cool.
what's up, man?
E-Rock, I love you, brother.
How are you, sir?
Well, dumpster guy, I got a problem. Now, I love you.
Okay.
All right? And my girl and I were driving like 2 weeks ago. We were listening to Bonfire.
Okay.
And you're doing that whole stupid thing. I don't know if it was like Boom Boom Mancini with the whole, whoop, here it comes, freak out, right?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yep, there it is. Double time, one top.
What is this?
Exactly. And it's bad enough, it like immediately sticks in your head. And so, as the entire night's going on, every chance I'm going up to her, throwing little jabs. Look out here.
I'll tell the story. What happened was Jay and I were about to do an episode of The Bonfire, and there's an amazing boxing show here on Sirius XM, and Jerry Cooney, former professional boxer,
and professional greeter.
This guy's amazing, super nice, older guy. And I run him to the hallway, and I'm talking to him, and I'm amazed I'm talking to Jerry Cooney. But he starts doing this thing where he's like, "All right, buddy, take care. All right, up," and like punching me in the stomach. So Jay and I, for the whole show, kept going, "Ah, there it is. Buy one, get one free. There you go. Where's your wallet? Ah, there it is. Chin check. All right, smile,
That's
kid."
almost Dom Herrera.
Yeah, but Jay and I we were making each other laugh doing it to each other, and then we got our listeners in trouble with their girlfriends for doing it.
The problem was you're doing it the whole. So I, like an asshole, I'm doing it all night. Like,
Yeah. I've been doing it for like 4 weeks straight now.
The worst part was, so we're in bed and we're,
Jesus.
she starts to go down on me. So I'm like still doing it, like jumping around, going, whoop, look out here, look out. I'm laughing because I think it's damn funny. And after a while, all of a sudden I realized you actually left the bedroom, and I'm like, whoa, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
And it just all fell to shit from there.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the girl I'm dating and I were about to copulate.
Ayo.
And
Keep it clean, please.
I gave her a not yet. And it kind of made her upset. But then
I understand. I feel the pain there.
But you know what? You know what it led to? Us watching Desperado together and her understanding where that line came from.
Very well. One more question for you, Dan. Just out of curiosity, Brian Koppelman, would his dad be Charles by any chance?
I believe so, sir.
Okay, so here's the 6 degrees of separation. When I'm not a radio calling guy, I'm actually a hedge fund guy, and I just took 30% of the stake in a deal that his dad is doing.
Boom!
Billions come to life.
I play you on a TV show.
So there you go. So I'm the guy who's breaking up with his chick because I'm listening to Bonfire being an asshole and backing Charles in a deal.
Good for you.
But I think I think you're coming out at the end here.
Yeah, you're winning. It sounds like you're winning pretty good.
Yeah, I feel pretty good when all said. You guys are awesome. Love y'all.
All right, Dutch, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Catherine, when you guys were on set and shooting your stuff, what was one of the more fun things that you got to do?
Ooh, let's see.
Without giving anything away.
I know.
I am
it's
here
like, this is
to make sure you give nothing away. You will give nothing away.
Dan
is very close to her.
Flying Brian Cobblemans around me, like little angels looking upon me. Fun without giving it away. I don't know. I feel like it was all fun. I mean, honestly, like Brian said, like you said, actually. Sorry, Brian. There were lots of different directors and different episodes, so it was fun to work with Stephen Gyllenhaal and
that was awesome,
right? And that was fun, like getting all these great directors and working with them. It's like, oh, okay, cool. This is nice, and them actually giving you direction, and then you're taking direction and doing what they said, and you're like, okay, I'm an actor now. This is awesome. So that was really fun for me. It was really learning and enjoying and having fun and getting it done.
And the cakes and craft services.
We're back to the food again.
If I could
All right, we're going to take 15 people. Dan's chair's just spinning. No one left the set yet.
There's cake crumbs on the side of my mouth. It's like, this is the best job I've ever had.
Dan would leave craft services, like when Homer was at the all-you-eat thing, where he's got the sausages in his mouth plus the steel tin. Sir!
He's so thin, though. I mean, how do you do it?
And
What is
my
your secret?
Well, napping. Turns out it burns out calories.
Okay, Dan, where did you find a place to nap on the set of Billions?
Yeah, I want to know if that's secret.
Bunch of boxes.
That's true, but you don't have time. They're
Little known
pretty quick and
fact,
good.
I was under the conference table.
Dude, there are a couple
That's
times. There are a couple times where I was like, "Do I have time to go back to my trailer and take a nap?" And they're like, "All right, guy. All right, buddy."
Looking at that table, and like, I could totally George Costanza this conference table.
Thought about
Who
it.
put the drawer in here?
And I got the alarm clock.
Did you guys get to take anything from set?
I'll let her answer
Don't
for
ask,
herself.
don't tell.
I'll answer. I got so much stuff.
I got
You
letterhead.
think my office is an Axe Capital offshoot? It looks like I run Axe Capital Queens. I got a coffee mug.
Right.
I don't know.
Really? I'm
I
so
hope the
jelly.
props department is it. I was staking stuff out since episode 2. I was like, I want that. I'm gonna wait till the season finale for that.
Those were real offices you were taping it with, or it wasn't
Yeah.
a soundstage, right?
No. They got the former Olympus
Yes.
office
Headquarters, yeah.
up in Orangeburg, New York. And it was insane, man. It was like I had a desk. I had a desk job for 5 months.
You did a really good job.
Dan's looking around like, all of this is a write-off. Something's
Crazy.
coming home with me.
Yeah. And then they did like I said, I got a couple coffee mugs, so that was pretty badass.
Now you're going to get a text from Brian. You owe us $30.
Right. Yeah.
Well worth it. Well worth it.
I think I took a napkin and a sugar packet. I didn't take it.
Yeah, you should go high. Bigger dreams.
I should. Thank you for inspiring me.
You're welcome. That's why I'm here.
Did you have to learn a whole bunch of new like jargon for the show?
Dude, there was a great guy named Turney Duff who was on set to kind of help us out with all the lingo, because there was a lot of shit that I said that I was like, I don't know. And he would have to say the sentence right. He's like, that's not how you say that. And I'd be like, oh, I don't know. Because it's like different things. He'd be like, give me 5100s of this. And you're like, I don't even know what that means. And then he would like come in and be like, this means this and this means that. So by the end, you're like, okay.
Oh, look, you got a little education.
Yeah. I feel like I'm ready to start trading.
I lost everything in day trading.
Yeah, dude, all of it gone. I need to be a principal character in the next 5 seasons.
Dan comes back and he's like, I used everything you wrote. You know, we made half that stuff up, right? What?
Those were real things you should have purchased.
That wasn't smart investing advice.
Yeah.
Don't buy on margin.
But it was a lot of fun. I got to run. I got to go do a set downtown.
Before you go, did you, in prepping for this role and reading what you had to do, did you look at other movies that deal with Wall Street and finance, stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like Boiler Room?
Yeah, I mean, I love Boiler Room. I've seen it so many times. And even I went back and watched Wall Street, which I had seen before, which was great.
I need a big phone.
Yeah. That's exactly what I want. I want a ton of hair mousse. I want mousse. Just
really tight suspenders.
Oh, man. But it was kind of cool. And I'd waited on those guys before when I was a waiter
right
in Midtown. So I kind of knew how they treated waiters, which was invaluable for just kind of how, like, oh yeah, this character's that fucking dickhead that I waited on at 142. That 4-top at 142. So yeah, that's what I drew. I drew from my experiences.
All right, well, Dan's got to run. You got a set tonight?
Yeah.
Where are you going to be?
Comedy Cellar, downtown.
Famous.
All night or just...
all night, buddy. All night.
So go down to the Comedy Cellar if you're here in New York City and check out Dan. Dan Soder on Twitter and Instagram. The Bonfire, which is on Comedy Central Radio, channel 95 here at Sirius XM, Monday and Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern with Big J. Okerson.
Yes. Watch Billions, and then I have an hour Comedy Central special coming out in the spring.
That's already taped, right?
It's filmed, and we're editing it, so that shit's coming out soon.
That's great, Dan.
Yeah, and thanks for having me on your show.
No problem. Go run and do what you have to do.
I do. Gentlemen, have a good evening.
You as well, sir.
Good seeing
Take
you.
care.
Love you.
And as always-
Catherine Callahan, do you want to hang out, or do you got to run too? Or
I mean, I have a place to go to also.
all right, Dan, hang 1 second. We're going to take a photo, all right? Catherine Callahan, she's Catacall on Twitter, CATA, call, CALL on Twitter, Catherine.Callahan on Instagram. The show is Billions this Sunday night, 10 p.m. on Showtime. And also check out lidivas.com, right?
Yes.
For that and the project that you and Katie work on.
That's right.
Anything else? Did I forget everything?
I mean,
we got everything?
If you want to talk more, I mean, I'll give you time. What do you need to know about me?
Oh, right. Well, we'll do that off air. Yeah. All right. We're going to take a break, and we'll come back with more stuff. Stay there. Welcome back to the show. 866-969-1969 is the phone number. If you want to get in touch with us. We do still have, by the way, the list of Opie's media box there, stuff he was giving away.
The treasure hunt.
So if you want to try to win something, if you got a good call, whatever, you get to pick from the list, and we will hook you up. Matt O.G., Giddles, myself. Thanks again to Brian Koppelman for calling in, Dan Soder and Catherine Callahan for coming in for the show Billions, Showtime, 10 p.m. I think they're getting their money's worth out of this program.
It was awesome. I mean, what I've seen so far is awesome, so
check that out. And again, like we said, with any show that we promote that we're fans of or whatever, if you DVR it, you have up to 3 days to watch it where it actually counts towards the rating. So if you want to support some, please, that's the way to do it so that they'll keep making episodes of the things that you like.
Yes.
All right?
All those things.
All those things. All the small things,
Indeed.
as Blink-182 says. Anyway, joining us right now is our friend, I keep getting his last name, is Ramo, right?
It sure is.
Okay, Chris Ramo. He's been on the show a few times. He's a fabulous artist.
He is.
He does amazing work. He did a custom piece for me. It was one of your Star Wars cards, which I have sitting at home, and it's in a box right now, but I got to get one of those thick glass baseball things where you unscrew it and put it in there so I can lock it up and display it, and so this way it doesn't get faded and what have you.
No greasy fingerprints on it?
No. But, on Facebook, I'm always seeing his doodles. He's like, I was up till 3 a.m. He just had twins not too long ago, so he's not getting much sleep. So where you're losing sleep, I see your productivity going up because you're getting stuff done.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's where most of these ideas come from, is when you're like loopy in the morning, like half asleep, just like, wow, this would be a great mashup, as you're like trying to feed 2 kids at the same time and stay awake and try to get to work. But
I don't know, the kids keep saying drawing Han Solo, so I did. But yeah, your drawings and Big Captain America fan and what have you. While we go through this, if you want to check out his artwork, it's ChrisRamoArt.com, RAIMO art.com. Also Chris Ramo Art on Twitter, and Instagram is different. It's Chris Ramo.
yeah, I stole it from you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, one day I'll give you back the other one when you pay the squatter fee. How you been, man?
Great.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'm alive, so that's good. Missed you guys.
Yeah.
I always miss you guys with my family.
When was the last time you were on?
Oof, a while ago. It was probably
early
like
2015?
New York Comic Con, wasn't it? Like right before then.
wow.
I think?
Probably sometime around there.
Okay, so around September, October, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's been a while.
So you've been doing a lot of work.
I sure have.
You're
Yeah,
going to be promoting your wares. Where are you going?
we're going to Heroes and Villains Fan Fest at the Meadowlands Expo Center next weekend, 23rd to 24th, booth 217.
Ooh, are you there by yourself or are you sharing with somebody?
I am there by myself.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good for you. You got a fancy banner and all that good stuff?
I sure do.
Nice.
Yeah, I have a fancy banner. No, I'm not. Do you want to sponsor me?
I want to get paid here first. And then we'll talk about sponsorships.
I'm my own booth babe, if that helps.
Ooh, you do your own cosplay.
Yeah. Me and my wife were talking about it the other day. We're trying to think how to, like, sexy me up so people want to come, like, check out the booth.
Well, let's see. Slave Leia is not allowed anymore, and it's been overdone. So is Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I was just thinking
Catwoman's
pale
been
topless
overdone.
guy.
That pale topless guy works.
Yeah, that
But
works.
you need
Like
something
from Mad Max. I'll just look like one of those dudes.
Zardoz.
Yeah.
Been saying it.
All right.
Red bandolier and underwear. That's all you
Problem
need.
solved.
Yeah.
So go down to booth what?
217.
217 and ask him where his Zardoz costume is.
Yeah. I will be there topless.
Ooh.
Yes.
What you'll have prints, I assume, of some of your stuff. Are you going to have shirts and stuff too? I know you do some t-shirt work too.
No, I'll most likely have prints, be doing commissions, of course, if anybody wants to come by and get some original artwork.
How long does that take you? Because I've seen when you go down Artist Alley and stuff at some of these cons, and they have their sketch pads or their books or whatever, and the artists more times than not are happy to do it. and it just takes a while. Sometimes like they'll come back in 4 hours and it'll be done. Sometimes it's like, give me your name and address and I'll mail it back to you.
I mean, I work pretty quickly. Like, I've always been in that kind of school of thought where it's like, let me see how quickly I can get this done and kind of move on to the next thing.
Right.
So I have a stack of things I've started and haven't finished yet, and then I have like my finished pile, so it's like all broken up. But I don't mind if people stand there and watch me, but I hate that. Like, it's just weird, like, to sit there and try to work and somebody just, like, standing over you, taking pictures of you, like, just, I don't know. That freaks me out.
The people who are getting the commission from you, or people in general?
No, the people get the commission. Like, some people just want to stand
They
there
just want to hawk
and just watch,
yeah.
which I understand. I mean,
sure.
You want to see your drawing be made, but at the same time, I'm like, I erase a lot, so you're just going to see me draw it, then erase it, then draw it, then erase it, then draw it. And it's not that, like, special to watch. Like, I'm not just like, boop, 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 there you go, enjoy it, you know?
Just got to pull your hat down over your eyes.
Yeah.
Wear a hood, you know, just, you know. And then when they leave, sexy it up again.
Yeah.
Bring somebody else in.
Back off.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, you do a lot of mashup work. It's awesome.
I do a lot of doo-doo, too.
Well, you know, you're only human.
A lot of doo-doo.
A lot of doo-doo emojis.
Yeah.
Did you see that one of his pieces got shared around the world by Robert Downey Jr. a couple weeks ago?
No, which one?
I did a Civil War Toy Story mashup, and it just fucking blew up. Like, literally, I was loopy one day trying to feed the kids, and it just came to my head, like, because I watched the trailer, and I'm like, oh shit. I was like, what could I do with this? Like, there's got to be two opposing things that would be great for this. And I was like, oh shit, Buzz and Woody, just because I'm a Toy Story nerd. So it was one of those things where I'm like, I have to do it, because I feel like with that stuff, if you don't do it, somebody else already thought of it and somebody's already doing it. So I literally plopped one of the kids in my lap, and I was just trying to get this thing done. Knocked it out in, like, you know, maybe like a half hour. And I'm like, all right, it's okay. I mean, the idea's there, but like, I wasn't too keen on the artwork. And then I posted it, and then like everything started tripling by the hour. Did
he like comment with it, or did he just retweet it?
Yeah, well, I posted it like Monday, and it did really well all week. And then like Friday, all of a sudden I see my likes were like quadrupling by the minute. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I was like, something big must have shared it, but I'm not thinking Robert Downey Jr. shared it.
Like Iron Man
like,
himself.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, you know, maybe like a geek site or something. So I go to my mentions, and it's taken forever to load, and then it finally loads, and I did one of those like, wait, what? And then I'm like, it can't be the real Robert Downey Jr. It's probably like Robert Downey Jr. fan page, you know, whatever. But I saw it was like verified and everything.
The little blue thing.
I'm trying to find it right now so we can post it for everyone to look at.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that was it. It just went like insane. Yeah, it was like my 15 minutes.
This was
did your entire email
week?
just explode from notifications? Or
yeah, it just was nonstop. And then I had like my wife was sending me updates. She's just like, "It's this many now. It's this many now." And I was just like, "I know." And I'm like at work, and I literally just threw my hands up. I'm like, "I'm going home." I'm like, I've accomplished what all am I going to accomplish today?
You should have immediately ordered prints and put them online.
Yeah,
and then the cease and desist comes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like
no,
you want to get the idea out, but you know.
Yeah, but the truth is, from the cease. All right, so here's a good question for you. You do a lot of mashup work. So obviously you're using a lot of different characters from a lot of different popular franchises. Have you ever actually gotten a cease and desist?
No.
Okay.
It's you have to walk a fine line. You have to take it to the parody route where like it is what it is, but you're not calling it what it is. Like if you do Batman and you put the Batman like official logo on his chest, you're gonna get some shit because that's their trademark. But like as far as like mashups go, you're kind of taking like creative liberties with it. So you kind of have like a little bit of freedom with that.
I kind of feel like even if you just straight up do a character, sometimes maybe it depends on the environment.
It really depends.
But it's weird that the comic book industry is kind of good about turning their eye to it. I mean, you walk down Artist Alley at any major convention.
That's all it is.
Everybody is selling licensed characters. And some guys have actually worked on the books and they're selling prints of like their cover and stuff like that, right? But there are a lot of guys who are just, you know, like 2 years ago, I was at New York Comic Con and at every single booth, somebody had a Rocket and Groot.
Right, yeah.
Print. Every single booth.
I'm sure everybody's going to have a BB-8 this time
right.
around.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and for whatever reason, like there's that weird blind eye that's kind of turned to it, which is good.
Well, yeah, it's good for now. I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever going to drop the hammer, but I mean,
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird because I think they kind of look at it as this is our potential talent pool, and so you don't want to necessarily screw over the guy who you're going to hire in a couple years if that guy is going to really work out for you. So it's kind of like a give and take.
Yeah, I've had a few friends who've actually gotten like professional jobs off of it because they're just like, oh wow, that's a style of that character we haven't seen yet, and then they get jobs out of it, you know. So you kind of have to do it. But I'm on the fence about it. I mean, I do a lot of it, obviously, and it does really well for me. But it almost makes me feel like a cover band, where like everybody loves when you play like "Shot to the Heart" or something, and then when you're like, "All right, here's an original," everybody's like, and that's kind of like what it feels like, because I'll post something that is pop culture, and everybody's like, "Oh, this is great, this is so cool," and I'm like, "But check this shit out," and they're like, "Who cares? Like, there's no Marvel or Star Wars in it. I don't care." And then you get nothing out of it, you know. And it's hard to kind of like transition off of the fan art because it does so well, you know. And I enjoy doing it because it's just fun, you know.
And it's all the things that you love anyway, right. So it's, you know,
I always try to do stuff that I like. So if you're going to, like, I'll post wrestling stuff because I like wrestling. If you don't like it, sorry. I enjoy it, you know. That's why.
But then your next post is like Haunted Mansion.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I jump to everything that I like,
right.
You know. I try to stick to what I like.
The artwork, by the way, is up on It's Erik Nagel on Twitter there. It's actually the screen cap that you posted of Robert Downey Jr. giving you the shout out. So that's pretty awesome. Now you can not only just make a printout or something of it and hang that on your wall. You actually have to do the screen cap now that goes with it to verify the artwork.
Yeah, I have a gigantic copy of it in my bathroom.
It's above my bed as I sleep.
Yeah, so every time I go, I just look at it, I go, God, I made it.
So back to creator-owned content. I mean, are you working on anything that's your own?
That again, it's. I feel like you have like this pressure to kind of constantly have something posted, you know? So like, it's easy for me to crank out something that exists already. But with my own stuff, I like to take my sweet ass time with it. Not that I have time, but I like to take my time with stuff. I mean, I've had a comic I've been trying to do for like 5 years now, and it's still nowhere, you know? Like, it's just like, let me sketch a little bit about it and put it to the side, you know? I also have paintings that I haven't painted in forever, because painting, it takes forever.
Sure.
So I don't have the time to sit there and focus and paint. You know, I can draw for a little bit. And it's like somebody pooped. I can, you know, go change a diaper, come back, get right back to drawing, you know. So I would love to get back to the more, this is what I like, this is my, you know, creativity and imagination, you know.
So that's why at these events you've got to do like a bunch of mashup stuff, and then you got to like pepper in a couple of your own things.
That's what I'm saying.
In there.
It's the cover band thing.
Yeah.
Like, here's all the hits, and here's one original, you know. But I mean,
but that works sometimes. It's got to work sometimes. I mean, personally, for me, it works sometimes. Right? I buy far too many art prints.
Well, I love you for that.
I know, but well, because I like to support the artists that I like. So I have no problem going and buying originals or prints from people that I like, and that's one of my favorite things to do at cons. So, but there are a lot of times where I'll go and it's like, I really kind of want that Bumblebee print, but this original thing that you did is just gorgeous, and I have to have that, and I'd rather have that, and I buy it. So, you know, there are some of us out there.
Yeah, I mean, my original stuff used to do, you know, really well, and people were really into it, but then, you know, you just start doing like more, oh, I really like to draw this, and then I draw it, and it's like a lot of people like that. It's like, okay, I can work on a little bit more like that, you know, because it's all exposure, you know. Sure. Like that's really what's important, you know.
What was the best piece that you made that you wound up selling and wish you didn't?
See, prints, it doesn't really bother me because I can make a million of them, you know. Like I have every painting I've ever done, and because people are like, how much do you want from? Like, I don't know. You know, like you don't. But do you have me personally? It's like it's hard because it's like your kids. Like I spent all this time working on this, and I love all of these, and I just want to keep them for myself. But at the same time, you know, you do have to kind of make your profit.
I'm sure once in a while something hits, and you go, just the feeling of what you did, and you're looking at it like, that was really good. I'm amazed, you know, that I did this piece here. I should hold on to this, but you didn't.
No, I have everything. I'm a hoarder. I have like stacks and stacks. Like, again, my wife was like, you should sell these originals. They're great. I'm like, no, they're mine. They're all mine. I can't give them away. I was like, when I'm dead, you can sell them. and they'll still be valueless, but still. It's like, at least wait till I'm dead so I don't have to, like, watch you sell, my children, pretty much.
So make a print for yourself and sell the original, damn it.
I know, but it's a different feeling when you sit there for hours just hunched over this and just inking every little detail, and you're just like, God, I need this forever,
You got to change your mindset, sir.
I know. I really enjoy it.
Artistic credibility, living.
That's
trying
what
to juggle that out
for,
there.
Man. That's what prints are for.
Give the plug again for where you're going to be.
That's Heroes and Villains Fan Fest at the Meadowlands Expo Center, January 23rd to 24th, booth 217.
You're going to stop by there?
If I can try, yeah, I'd like to try to.
I think I want to go down there and try it out too.
Nice.
I think that'd be a lot of fun if
you need to go.
I don't think I've been to an all art kind of thing.
Doesn't matter all art. There's people from Doctor Who that are going to be there, sir.
Oh, look at that head turn.
Karen Gillan's going to be there. John Barrowman's going to be there. Stephen Amell from Arrow is going to be there. There's a lot of people that are going to be there.
New Aquaman.
Jason Momoa, he's going to be there? Yeah. Oh, there you go.
I met him already. He wasn't the nicest of people, but that's just me.
Well, he's Aquaman.
Well, no, he's Aquaman, but I'm like, I loved you in Stargate Atlantis, and I guess he was
not
going to...
Aquaman. That's Sweeney Todd. Let's be honest.
I thought maybe he was going to talk about what was the big movie he made that bombed? Conan? He remade Conan, right?
Yeah, I think he was the lead in that.
I think that's what he was here for, and I just said, I loved you in Stargate Atlantis, and I don't think it sat well with him, so I was just like, can I get a photo? And then later I'm like, hey, I met Aquaman.
So there you go. Celebrities, Chris,
I want to meet John Barrowman, especially after watching Arrow. I definitely want to go down there. And he has his own Funko Pop that just came out.
For who?
For him, for Captain Jack.
Really?
Wave 2 just came out. Captain Jack has one. River Song has one.
Are they out?
They were all over Instagram posing with their things.
No, that means they're probably months away then.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn it. I was hoping, I'm like, all right, I'll raid Amazon.
I could be wrong, but normally when the celebrities get them, they're still months away.
Chris, I'm coming to see you too, but Jack Barrow. All right.
Will that guy have his shirt off? No.
You never know.
I don't know. Do you follow him on Instagram? He might have his shirt off.
He's got CDs to sell.
Damn it.
He's got his music that he has to push. So go see that. Speaking of comic book stuff and all of this, something I don't remember if it was Matt or Brian sent to me yesterday about Deadpool.
Oh, I sent it.
That was you?
Because it made me angry.
Well, and he sent it. I knew he was going to. I didn't bother with that email. I was like, Matt's on top of this.
And Matt sends me this email to a story about there's a video of a lady who obviously is a mom trying to be hip and cool by using buzzwords and whatnot. And she's part of this organization that's trying to petition Deadpool, the movie, based on the comic book. A lot of speculation if it was going to get an R rating or a PG-13 rating, and then finally it came out, it got an R rating.
It's called Busybody Moms Who Should Mind Their Own Business.
Beeswax, sir.
Oh, beeswax.
Not such harsh language.
Sorry. I didn't mean to get salty.
So the movie gets the official rating of R,
and everybody rejoiced in the world except for this mom.
Because it's hard to get a comedy that's an R. It's hard to get a superhero movie comedy kind of thing that's an R.
Sure, and it's Deadpool,
right? It's not meant for kids.
It's not meant for kids.
Even in the comic books, it wasn't meant for kids.
No,
it wasn't. So it comes out, and that's not good enough. And like, they want a petition to make the movie to have a version of it that's PG-13 airing in theaters at the same time as the R-rated version. So you can have a choice because kids want to go see this movie.
Because her 9-year-old wants to go see it. First of all, tough shit for your 9-year-old. Be a parent and tell them you can't go. Or be an awesome parent. Be like, let's go fucking see Deadpool.
We're going to go see Deadpool.
Okay, we're going to hate on kids again in this segment. So if you want to call 866-969-1969 and tell us about hating kids again like we did last week, and maybe we'll hook you up with something good,
If you're really that concerned about what your precious little snowflake fucking sees in the theater, why are you taking a 9-year-old to a PG-13 movie?
Well,
he would still be too young.
Her logic in the video...
There is no logic.
Her logic in the video is this. She couldn't understand why you put out a version of the trailer And then you put out the red band version of the trailer, which, if you don't know, a red band trailer, which is usually on YouTube.
It's the uncensored version.
It's the uncensored version where they don't cut out some of the bad gore. Maybe
they'll change like phrases and dialogue,
maybe
so it's like a little more friendly.
Quick shower scene, or somebody's laying naked on a bed, something like that. Those kind of things that make it a red band trailer. She goes, well, they have the red band trailer, but they made a censored trailer. Why can't they make a censored movie? Now, for normal thinking people, of course your trailer is always a censored version first, because you'll never get on television or anything else to promote your movie. Then you have the red band, because it's the internet age and everyone's online, wants to say, oh yeah, I just saw the brand new teaser for Deadpool on TV. I went, oh, the red band trailer's online, I'm going to go and watch that. Now that even sells the movie even more.
Of course.
But they made those. Why can't they make a PG-13 version of this? Every movie has a censored version. Not every movie has a red band trailer. It's the other way around. And this dumb tart is thinking that because her 9-year-old kid is like, he wants to see the movie, this isn't fair.
Well, then bring him to the
movie. There was a lot of shit when I was a kid that I wanted to see that my parents wouldn't let me. And you know what? That's good parenting.
That's part of being a parent.
Now,
you have to make
10,
that call.
I was 10, and they didn't know I saw Basic Instinct. And I don't think I knew what that scene really meant until I saw it mocked on Saturday Night Live with whomever. With Newman from Seinfeld.
They
did it for
Dennis,
the MTV Movie Awards or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Dwayne Knight or something.
Dwayne Knight, that's it.
And then I realized what that scene meant. But I didn't know at the time, but I saw the movie.
She has nothing better to do with her time.
I hope the studio trolls her and like, we made a PG-13 version just for you, and puts the fucking Netflix Yule log on for an hour and a half, and they're like, here you go.
No, it's just Deadpool sitting in front of the fireplace. That's it.
Just smoking a cigarette.
Just smoking a cigarette for 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Now,
like,
what
is this exciting?
What are your thoughts on the fact that everything has to be toned down? Everything has to be, you got to think of the children. It's like, adults have a lot of stuff, but the things that adults really get excited for, especially in mainstream media, a lot of these groups have to come out and they say, oh, it has to be toned down. This isn't family friendly. This isn't religiously friendly, or it's insensitive. Like, adults are not allowed to make their own decisions anymore based on their entertainment that they want to watch.
It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's
not that I think anyone's taking her petition seriously, by the way, but the fact that it went viral really pissed me off.
Her goal was 1,500 signatures, which is not a lot of signatures. And she had 13 and change the last time I looked. So I guess like there's a couple of other nuts out there that agreed with her. But look, it's the old cliche. If you don't like it, change the channel. Yeah. No one is forcing you to see it. And if your little kid wants to go see it, you have to tell them no. It's just part of being... I'm a parent. I have a kid who wants to watch stuff that I know he shouldn't watch. And I make that decision. You can't watch this. And I tell him, that's for grown-ups. And he's like, oh, okay, that's for grown-ups. Like, it doesn't devastate his world. So, she probably gives her little brat everything he wants, and this is just her way of giving him another thing that he wants.
Well, I just feel like when I was 10 and I didn't want to see a movie my parents wouldn't let me, I still found a way to see it.
Oh, well, that's the other thing.
And now we're in the
you went over a friend's house, or if they went to bed early, you snuck down and watched the movie channel.
But like, now everyone has a freaking television in their pocket. Like, the kid's gonna see it. Like, it's not... I don't get it. You can't hide it from them forever.
I got into R-rated movies when I was 10 because I was like 6 foot. So,
but like, I legitimately understand not wanting to take your 9-year-old to an R-rated movie. Like, I applaud that decision, but you can't force everybody to change for your individual special needs. It's just not practical, and it doesn't make any sense. And not to mention that even though there is a regular version of the trailer and the red band version of the trailer, the financial cost to do an entire film, to do an entire second cut of the movie would be insane.
Scene missing,
yeah. So that's what it should be. That's it. Either that or just bleep it. Just release the bleeped version of the movie. It's like watching a stand-up special on Comedy Central at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
I would love red band trailers for every movie ever that comes out. Yeah. I think that would be great.
They should.
Just to throw people off. Like the next Alvin and Chipmunks movie, red band trailer's coming out.
Skid marks.
Somebody said that when I posted the thing up on Twitter. They said, I'll go see a PG-13 version of Deadpool when I see the R-rated version of the Chipmunks movie.
There you go.
And that reminded me of Bella Thorne, and I think that's a good idea.
Oh, look, it's people don't want to take personal responsibility. People think that their needs outweigh the needs of everybody else. And they're just idiots. Is really what it boils down to.
It's just really stupid. I mean, and those things go viral because it's just, hate equals hits, and people will just go on the internet and watch and be like, I gotta see what this is. I'm sure there was 85% of that list was old ladies I should make a movie like that who don't even know what Deadpool is. Yeah. They think it's where the kid drowned.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's just, I just don't understand why I just don't understand. I don't understand what goes through people's minds when they try to do these things. I mean, and people that agree with them are just...
My favorite movies when I was little was Batman '89.
Oh, yeah.
Ninja Turtles, the original, which was pretty dark.
Sure.
And then Ghostbusters. And watching them now as an adult, I'm like, so much shit went over my head. I mean... Fucking Dan Aykroyd's getting a ghost BJ during the movie, yeah, and I'm like, that went right over my head. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, she's taking his pants off. His pants are down. And then you watch it as an adult, and you're like, he's literally getting a blowjob from a ghost in one of the scenes. But it just went over my head, and I was just like, I just like the big, colors and everything else that's going
that's
on.
ectoplasm all over the room. Don't touch it.
That's what I'm saying. All
this room's haunted. This room's haunted ghosts.
Yeah.
I don't know. My parents took me to go see My Cousin Vinny when I was 10. I turned out fucking okay.
I remember my parents taking me to see Godfather 3 at the Comac movie theater.
Ooh.
And besides me, again, not seeing at that age 1 and 2, so I don't know what's going on. Then there was a shooting 2 days later at that theater. So I think I avoided something bad there. Garrison in Wisconsin. Garrison, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. How are you doing, Eric?
Doing all right.
And Matt.
Hey, Garrison, how's it going?
Hey, you got to talk about the censoring of children. The high school kids in Wisconsin, the WIAA, which is the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association, banned the use of using words during basketball games directed at opposing teams like airball.
Airball, right.
You can't do that. Scoreboard. Really? I mean, seriously?
It's just so stupid.
We're raising a bunch of wusses.
Right?
Remember... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, are they going to start taking away, our state tournaments, too? So you can't do that because there'd be one winner and then they'd be above everyone else?
No, sir. They'll have those tournaments, but everybody wins a trophy.
Everybody gets a medal.
There you go. Everybody gets a first place as long as you participated.
Right, and then you all go out for pizza and or ice cream.
That's it.
Snow cone.
Snow cone.
Get a free snow cone.
Grape.
And we wonder why Trump is succeeding.
We're doomed. We're doomed.
At least we'll be here to watch it burn.
There you go.
Garrison, let me hook you up with something. Pick a number between 1 and 84.
76.
76. You win a unopened copy of The Silence of the Lambs straight from Opie's Media Collection.
Ooh.
Sweet.
All right. We'll put you on hold, and Lewis will get your information.
Thank you.
All right. I'm trying to think of other movies I saw as a kid that, by today's standards, you're like, oh, my God, well, how could you show that? You know what?
Everything I watched as a kid.
I used to get more afraid of creature stuff rather than violence. If people were dying, getting shot or stuff like that, that didn't bother me too much. But I remember as a little kid, was it Star Trek 2, where they're putting the things in their ears? Like that?
Yeah, the
as a little kid,
earworms?
that used to terrify me, and I was like, I can't watch this movie. But meanwhile, then you watch Rambo was on all the time, and, the over-the-top explosions and people getting shot with a rocket launcher, and there's parts everywhere, and that didn't bother me.
Yeah, but first of all, if today's rating standards existed back then, a lot of the movies that we watched as a kid would be rated way differently. Clearly, right?
Totally.
But that being said, no matter when it was made or what it's rated, there is some content that is made for a specific demographic. Deadpool is not made for children.
No.
And you just have to live with it.
But then they're like, why isn't it made for children? My kid sees this movie trailer and he wants to see it, so change it for my kid.
He sees someone in a costume, and in his brain it triggers that's for me.
Look, and there has been a downplay of the character in there's Lego Deadpool figures and stuff like that. Yeah. So certainly there are kids who identify with the character, but sadly this movie just isn't for them. I don't know that I would take someone who is really, really young to see the Nolan Batman movies either, no matter how many times he watched Lego Batman. You just have to make that decision as a parent.
I just thought of this then. So what you just said about there's Deadpool Lego stuff. Mm-hmm. There's also a Deadpool Mr. Potato Head.
Sure.
Right? That being said, is this lady's argument then relevant where if it's an adult movie and it's an adult comic book, you're marketing it to kids by having the toys and stuff like that available for kids?
No, because
that wrong?
No, because the character has existed long outside of the scope of the movie. And so, I don't have a problem with a 9-year-old reading a Deadpool comic book because no matter how bad it got, it never rose to this level because of even though the comics code doesn't exist, there's still that weird, unwritten rule that unless it's marked as mature or for an adult audience, comic books still have to go up to a line before, they have to kind of police themselves a little bit. So the character has existed for long times, and there's no problems with a kid liking it. This version of it is just not meant for them. And again, I would say the same thing about Batman. Batman could be marketed for kids, but could clearly and easily be marketed for an adult. And I think Nolan did that. I wouldn't take a 9-year-old to see the Nolan Batman movies. Those were kind of intense. And I don't know that a 9-year-old would handle them well.
That backbreaking scene, if I'm thinking about it as a kid, just to hear the crack and see it, I think that would have freaked me out.
That's what I mean. So look, you have different content created for different audiences, and that's, there's nothing different about it. I mean, what about South Park? South Park could be geared towards kids with video games and plush and action
all
figures.
The toys.
But you're not going to let your 6-year-old watch South Park,
right? Because besides the content, it's TVMA.
Yeah, I mean,
so if you're a responsible parent, that's the R rating for TV,
and they're not going to appreciate the subtleties.
So
kids.
Whales on the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not for everybody. And if it's okay that it's not for everybody. Everything doesn't have to be made for everybody. You don't always have to cater to the least common denominator. That's the problem.
Well, even though the video, we'll play a clip of it in just a minute here, but even though the video and this whole campaign got a lot of attention, I think before the show it was only at 3,000 signatures, which her goal was 1,500. Okay, she doubled her goal. But that's nowhere near the amount that would take for for a movie studio to even look at what the thing is about.
Fox probably doesn't even know the video exists, to be honest with you. Maybe some guy saw it on Twitter.
No, I don't even care.
They put this in a compilation that they watch at their Christmas party. Remember when they tried doing that? How much did that movie made? 1.6 worldwide.
Yeah.
All right, screw her. Chris in New Hampshire. Chris, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, guys. Great show. So I was thinking, as we were talking, you were talking about the movies and the things that are in it and how they hold up. If you ever have an opportunity, go on IMDb and look at a movie and check out the family guide for each one of the movies. It is downright hilarious on how people rate these things for family. So, for instance, if you wanted to see like a cartoon Disney movie Brave, it'll be classified like sex and nudity, and it'll say bear shows naked bottom.
No, you got to go to the MPAA website, Eric.
Oh, I thought you said IMDb.
No, it should be the
MPAA.
MPAA.
On IMDb, it points to the Family Guide.
Oh, okay.
And I'm sure that does it. But the way they break down movies into, for the children, for, sex and violence, drug usage, some scenes might be intense for kids. And you're looking at something like Cars or Brave or any of these cartoon movies, and it's really hilarious the things they sort of point out that a parent should be keeping their eye out for. I remember in Cars, they talked about how the VW bus was sort of a stoner, and you had to sort of pay attention to that for your kids. I just find it absolutely laughable sometimes when it comes to these parental guides. So my rule of thumb is I watch it first. If I think it's appropriate, the kid can go. If I don't think it's appropriate, kid can't go.
There you go. Look, and that's being a responsible parent. Good on you.
Right. I like the subcategories. It starts
violence and gore.
We went to see Brave for the Disney version of Brave. The top category is sex and nudity. Then there's violence and gore about an animated bear getting into a fight with several men. And they're throwing rocks. There's a profanity. Actually, let's see, 1 out of 10, actually none. Just some minor name-calling and rude humor from little boys.
Little boys don't do that. They're never rude like that.
Alcohol and drinking, fighting, and intense scenes.
I saw a lot of posterior in the sex and nudity section.
I see the word bear a lot. There's a lot of bears in this movie.
Well, the bear was like the main antagonist in
I didn't see
Brave.
Yeah, so it's funny if you sit back and you actually look at the movie first and then read that, you're like, but wait, you almost feel like that is taken out of context some of the time. that I don't know. It just to me, it's almost laughable.
One of the complaints about nudity is that she's actually covered. Are you reading this?
Yeah, I am reading that.
The complaint is that
there is
we
no
see her
female...
turn back, but she's covered by a tapestry. How is that offensive? Right. She's covered.
I'm offended by that.
You should be.
Because there's a tapestry, it's considered art.
Oh, is that what it is?
And it's implied nudity. Like it's like you've got to be careful that your kid might imply that she is naked behind that tapestry.
Well, you can imply that I'm naked under my clothes.
Matt, how dare you?
I know.
There aren't children present.
On the radio.
I love it says he also swings his hips in a slightly vulgar manner. Like, I feel like the same complaint.
Twerking in a kilt.
It was like the same complaint against Elvis in like the 60s.
Yes. Very famous TV case where they had to shoot Elvis from the waist up during his performance on the Ed Sullivan Show because they felt the hips down with him not twerking, but gyrating his pelvis was considered unholy and evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Chris,
all right, guys.
I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 84. I'll hook you up with something.
It'd be great if he wins
all
Brave.
How about you pick for me tonight?
No, Giddles, you pick a number for.
No,
Chris.
Chris.
Chris, you pick a number.
All right, 22.
13.
No, the other Chris. Chris in studio.
Chris.
13.
13. It's already taken.
20.
20? Okay. 20. You win a copy of Eastbound and Down Season 2 unopened.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Isn't that the season where he goes to Mexico? That's a good one.
No, that's the third one, isn't
Is that
it?
third one? Oh, I don't remember.
Is there a parental guide for that?
Oh, I'm sure there is.
There is.
There's lots of cocaine usage.
A lot of dick wagging. Let's go to another Chris in Arizona. Chris, how are you?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good.
Hey, Chris Ramo, you're awesome, by the way. I was looking at your stuff online. I like your use of color tones. So.
Ooh, thank you. I like your name.
Yeah, yeah. So I was calling because I think it's kind of funny. Like when we were kids, the only thing keeping us from porn and the going to the VHS store or whatever was just a string of beads kept us from going into the porn section.
Implied nudity behind those beads, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was like it was definite nudity behind those lines, and then you go to like True Lies was rated PG-13, and she's stripping while Arnold Schwarzenegger's watching, and I mean, there's nothing more sexual than that when you're like 13. You know what I mean? So it's just a little weird how things have changed so far, and I think a lot of it has to do with people on their pedestals, mainly on social media. But
busybodies. It's all because of busybodies.
Well, if they were busy, there wouldn't be a problem. It's just they're not
Yeah,
busy.
seriously.
Fair enough.
So, but yeah, guys, man, Eric, your show rocks, man. I'm getting into the show a lot more. So
Thank you,
thanks
sir.
for answering my call.
No problem, and thank you for buttering me up, because I will give you a prize. Pick a number from 1 to 84.
Let's do 66.
66, sir. You win a copy of Taxi Season 1 unopened, and I'm sure we can get that signed by Mr. Hughes for you.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Okay, we'll put you on hold there. I was trying to think of some other movies that I saw as a kid that's not appropriate now.
Oh, how about The Fox and the Hound, that Disney movie about that
my
horrible,
God,
horrific movie that traumatized me as a child that was made for kids.
Why did it traumatize you as a child?
It was so violent. I don't know.
is.
It's really violent.
And
you
then
should go rewatch that.
And then at the end, it's heartbreaking because she leaves the fox and just drives off. And the fox says, it's like, wait, I was friends with you through the whole thing. And now you're just ditching me, and you left, and you're like, I can't watch this anymore.
I will say
I'm
that Disney movies in general do have a healthy amount of violence in them.
Well, they
The
do
old
kill off a
ones, like
parent.
Huh?
They do tend to kill off the parent.
Bambi.
Yeah, but even the new ones, I went and saw The Good Dinosaur, and my son was like, is spoiler alert if you haven't seen The Good
Did the
Dinosaur.
dinosaurs
There's
die?
dinosaurs.
My son asked if the dad got whacked, and he did, and I had to, sorry.
Oh, spoiler, man.
Horrible. Let's go. Oh, the Beetlejuice guy hung up. Damn it.
He'll call back 2 more times.
Call back. There you go. Oh, no, we didn't. There he is. Scott, New Jersey. Scott.
I was like, I didn't hang up. Don't go away. Yes.
This is your Disney movie.
Yes, exactly. When I think I was around 7 or 8, and I don't remember how the movie was marketed, but when Gina Davis is hanging herself and rips her face off and her eyes bulge out of her head. I literally ran out of the theater screaming, crying, because, one, it's a shock, and two, it's, pretty terrifying. And, now I look back at it, and, it's a tongue-in-cheek, funny kind of movie, but there's so many, scary aspects to the movie that, it's kind of odd that they allowed even somebody my age in the theater.
Yeah, I could see that.
That movie screwed me up, too, when I was little. Beetlejuice scared the shit out of me.
Which part?
I love Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, the movie, pretty much. The entire thing.
It was kind of a scary
that
movie.
That Large Marge, that always scared the shit out of me.
I was just writing that down.
Shit out of me.
Yeah.
As a
When
kid.
you watch it now, it looks just like, it's the Pee-wee Playhouse animation from the intro.
Stupid, but when you were a kid, man.
When the eyes, I'm going to the Alamo.
Well, what used to terrify me as a kid was the last shot of Thriller. When he had the cat eyes, I would run out of the room. Like, I could watch, Exorcist and be, totally fine. My parents would put on, the Thriller video. I'm like, I can't watch those cat eyes. I gotta get the fuck out of the room. I'd run out of the room and hide under the couch.
I got terrified one time as a kid. There was when I was living in Brentwood, Long Island, there was a bad storm going on, and something happened in the backyard. I don't know, but it was flooding, so it was coming into the basement a little bit.
Gonna be a poltergeist?
No, and it was a finished basement, and it was coming through the laundry room, and, my mom and my older sister trying to bail out water. And, thunder and lightning, rain, everything. And as a little kid, that can be a little terrifying. But then I turn around and I look, and then there's the orange-haired face of Annie Lennox in the Sweet Dreams video. While there's a scene, I guess they're on a boat or a swamp or something like that. And she's just staring at, she's like, everybody's. I'm freaking out, and I ran upstairs and I'm hiding. I can't watch that video. No, I can now, but every time I watch it, all I associate is me being terrified of her staring at me like this was the devil coming to get me. Dumb. That is what it is. Wow, a lot more people calling in to yell at children here.
Nice.
Let's go to... actually, sorry, Scott, you're still on the phone. Let me give you something. Pick a number between 1 and 84.
Yes, I want to go with number 68, sir.
68, you win season 3 of Taxi. I hope you enjoy that. We'll put you on hold, all right?
Thank you.
No problem, then. If I can get this to move. Let's now go to Rick in Texas. Rick, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, how are you, man?
Stuck in traffic in Dallas. Sucks, but, it's my job.
To be stuck in traffic?
Yeah, driving a truck.
Oh, okay.
What I was thinking is, there's all kinds of shit made for adults that it really isn't made for kids. I wouldn't show Rob Zombie's El Super Beasto to my fucking 7-year-old. Just wouldn't do it, even though it has Tom Papa in it.
But, children's television star Tom Papa. Yeah. But see, that I don't think compares because that's not something a kid would think to watch or you would show a kid to begin with. At least you understand that Deadpool, they think it's just like the other superhero movies. Kid wants to see it.
Well, 30 years ago, I remember going to the movies, seeing the very first. I think it was the very first NC-17 movie was what was it? It was Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake. I think it was the very first NC-17 movie. I think I was 13. Went with my friend and my brother. They didn't throw us out, but we were in the gore at the time.
Right.
But it just goes to show if someone wants to see it, even 30 fucking years ago in the theaters, they're gonna see it. Period.
Yeah.
How many kids are gonna go buy a ticket for something and go watch that like we always used to do when we were young.
It should come down to the matter of being a good parent and then setting some restrictions, saying this movie's not for you. I'm sorry, and you got to wait a few years to go and see it like every other kid. Not say we need to change the industry.
What the fuck is good parents nowadays? What the fuck is good parents nowadays? If you listen to the government, the kids don't even belong to you. They belong to the state. Everybody gets a trophy. You have to learn all this other bullshit. If Timmy wants to have ponytails and fucking wear a dress, it's okay at 7. Wait a minute, no. Parents need to start being parents. and this shit wouldn't fucking happen in the first place.
I think a couple of those things I think are okay, but some of them, I don't want it. I think it comes also down to that it's easier to let these things happen and complain about what's wrong than taking the responsibility and putting in the work to actually be a parent and supervise and do all these things. And this is coming from somebody who doesn't have any kids. And I'm even seeing, I'm like, just pay attention to what your kid's doing. Put down the fucking phone and look, what are they watching? Oh, look, they're watching Lost, on Netflix or something like that. You shouldn't be watching that at your age. Flip it off and put on something that they should be watching. If they have throw a fit and complaining and a tantrum and throwing stuff, you're the parent. They don't dictate to you, what they want to do. And I've seen a lot of people say, oh, what are you going to do? They're kids. You were a kid too.
They give in, give them what they want. And that's why we have a fucking, we're going to be ruled by kids that have never been spanked and always got a trophy. It's going to suck.
Right. Rick, pick a number between 1 and 84 and we'll give you something.
Well, I get it this time. I never got the last thing I won.
What did you win?
Oh, I don't think he gets anything now, him and his attitude.
Well, let's see what it is. What did you win?
You were supposed to give me something from Comic-Con, and it never came in the mail twice. I gave you my name. But anyway, I'll pick number 10, Powerball number 10.
Number 10. I'm going to go double check to make sure that you got that thing there, because I know all that stuff was sent out. Number 10, you get an unopened copy of Michael Moore's Bowling for Columbine. That'll sit well in Texas.
It's a good kid movie.
Yeah, that'll be great at the range.
Right. There you go. Send us a video clip when you get it, all right? We'll put you on hold, and Lewis will get your information here. Another movie that I remember seeing as a kid, and I shouldn't have seen, and it's only for the nudity factor, was National Lampoon's European Vacation. And I saw that in the theater. So when Rusty's sitting next to the German girl? Yeah, they were Germany. The German girl, and she smiles and just opens her top, and he just sits back and goes like, oh. I didn't know what that was, and I remember my mom going, oh shit. Cover yourself.
Yeah, I mean, look, I watched every Eddie Murphy movie growing up. I think I was watching Harlem Nights. And I was way too young to be watching Harlem Nights. My grandmother was at the house that day. It's, I'm going to take what's left of this pinky toe and shove it so far up your ass. My grandmother lost her mind. She's like, what are you letting this boy watch? My mom...
It wasn't for the language. It was for the people in the movie.
Well, look, hey,
old habits die hard with the Italians.
Old New York Italians, they're in their ways.
Well, there was a movie I remember watching a lot of times as a kid, and I just recently rewatched it, and I have no idea why my parents let me watch it ever. Dutch, where it's like Al Bundy just berating a 13-year-old kid for 2 hours and calling him a piece of shit.
But nothing burps better than bacon.
I know, but it was just so crazy rewatching. I was like, this language and the whole like strip poker deck and all that.
Well, the kid needed to be taught a lesson.
He was a little piece of shit.
He was a bit obnoxious. But then again, his parents didn't love him, and Al Bundy became the father that he should have had all along. It's a heartwarming movie that you watched for Thanksgiving. Chris, any more movies come to mind that you saw as a kid that you realized you shouldn't have seen?
Blazing Saddles? That was a good one.
That was a good one.
Fair?
Blazing Saddles? Shouldn't have seen that as a young boy, but I did. I still think it's hilarious to this day.
See, but something like Blazing Saddles, I mean, I don't know at 9, but I would I don't know that I would have a problem showing Blazing Saddles to my kid at an earlier age than he probably should watch it, generally speaking. I mean, it's salty, but it's not grossly violent, or it's
just extremely racist and
it's racist, but it's hilarious though.
He'll remember the bean scene the most as a kid.
I remember my dad.
Like, farts are hilarious. Like, you skip through everything terrible just to get to that part.
I forgot about that. That's exactly what I was going with. I remember my dad talking about this movie and then showing me the movie just because the father from Webster punches a horse. And my dad thought this was one of the greatest scenes in cinematic history. And you know what? It is. To see Mongo punch a horse is very funny.
That's legendary.
It is. Quality bonding with your parents.
Just picturing Mr. Nagel. This is great. This is great cinema here. Guy punching a horse.
Well, all right. You want to go one step further? My dad also thought that it was appropriate time for me to watch Blame It on Rio, which was Michael Caine and Joseph Bologna. You may remember him as the father on Rags to Riches that used to be on NBC. and also the Married with Children spinoff Top of the Heap with Joey Tribbiani, whatever his real name is. Anyway, so it's about these two divorced fathers who go down to Rio with their daughters, and their one daughter is played by this big buxom blonde girl who I don't remember her name, and the other daughter was Demi Moore in one of her early roles. And the infamous scene is that they're checking out these two girls at the bar at the beach, and then the girls turn around walking around topless, and it's their daughters. So they were just oogling their daughters. Man, my dad thought this was great. And I was like, all right. Dad bought me the VHS tape. This is going upstairs.
Nice.
Right. Let's go to Joe in Connecticut. Joe, how are you? Joe?
Not there. That's how we're doing.
Once, twice, 3 times, and maybe? No. Tony in Alabama.
Hey, I just want to bring up completely inappropriate from way back when was a Song of the South, which was, completely racist.
Right.
And then turned around by Disney and just banned.
Interesting thing with Song of the South, if you go to any convention, that is at the front of every table that has the bootleg.
Of course. I have it.
And they're never a good quality copy.
Actually, mine is a pretty good quality.
And you lucked out because I bought 3 and they were all horrible.
No, I've watched mine a couple of times. No, mine's all right.
It's right next to the Star Wars Christmas special.
It is.
Oh.
The what?
The Star Wars Christmas special. It's right next to that at the convention.
Yay.
It's funny because Disney has tried so hard to sweep that under the rug, but they can't sweep it under the rug entirely because Splash Mountain is far too big, and those characters, like they even released, I know like 7 or 8 years ago, they released a DVD of just the animated shorts of like just Brer Bear and Brer Rabbit, but they cut out all the.
They used to show the animated shorts on the Disney Channel, when I was a little kid, and they would make a music video for Zippity Doodah. Yep. But they never showed the movie.
No, because it's the live action stuff that's really problematic.
Right.
Right.
I want to see that movie again. Tony in Alabama, I'm going to give you a prize. Pick from 1 through 84, please.
How about 19?
19, you win a copy of Dumb and Dumber that's not been opened.
Terrific.
I can sense your enthusiasm. We'll put you on hold, and we'll get your information.
Right.
No problem there. Let's go to Derek in West Virginia. Derek, how are you, sir?
Doing good, E-Rock. How are you doing, buddy?
We're doing fine.
All right, man. So when I was, it was late 80s or early 90s, when Child's Play and Total Recall came out in the theaters, both of which I saw at probably about 7 or 8 years old.
Nice.
Both of those are rough for 8.
Yeah, my dad really wasn't one of those really gave a crap parents. He was just kind of, well, you're going to see this stuff anyway, so you might as well
be me that shows it to you.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool, man. And I have a 6-year-old daughter who, you guys were talking about South Park. I'm like, well, she's going to end up hearing this shit in high school anyway, so I might as well let her hear it now, so she's not shocked or asking me questions in the future about. Well, what's this mean and what's that mean? She's asking me now, and I'm like, okay, well, this is what this is, and this is what that is.
This is the way he's covering up the fact of him wanting to yell this in the house. So he's like, all right, I'll just show her the show and blame it on the TV show.
Exactly.
Total Recall, I wanted to see in the theater, but I didn't. I remember, though, that was the year my social studies class took us on a field trip to see Dances with Wolves. And while we were all, it was a weird thing, yours too, right? And so it wasn't just our class, but like multiple classes from different schools were all going to the theater to watch these movies. And some of the smarter kids at the time snuck out and went to see Total Recall next door, but not realizing that Dances with Wolves is like a 3-hour movie, and Total Recall is maybe an hour and a half. And they were done and just wandering, playing, video games and everything. And I was like, why didn't I do that? I really wish. That's one of the things, if I could ever go back in time.
You would leave Dances with Wolves to go see Total Recall.
Right. They seem to have so much fun.
Some people go back and kill Hitler. Eric goes back and just sneaks out of a movie and goes into a different movie.
I just wish I could have watched things I could have back then. I can do it now easily, but back then it probably would have meant more.
You don't have the same thrill. You don't get to play Cruising USA afterwards.
Oh, man.
Right.
I get to hit the cow now.
Or Road Blaster. That was my favorite.
Blaster was fun.
Waiting for the plane to fly over you, drop off the weapon, and then you're collecting little green and red dots on the street.
Or Smash TV if you had enough friends.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Or pole position with like all the red, yellow, blue, and green car, and everyone had a little wheel.
Pole position was always a problem because somebody always broke the stick shift.
Well, yeah.
Because people used to slam it like they were driving a real car, and it was always broken.
You shouldn't drive a real car like that.
I was going to say, I don't think you should
probably
do a real
still just like shifted nicely.
Oh, people get that thrill, like, when you can feel in a car when you're driving a manual shift that, you can feel the car, speeding up and the engine and everything like that. You're playing pole position going from first, second, and park, and they're just slamming it backwards like they're really doing something.
And then the clutch falls out and you're stranded on the highway somewhere.
And you don't get
Good
your
times.
quarter back, even though you complained to the manager. Did we give anything to Derek?
No.
Derek, pick a number between 1 and 84.
Give me 84.
84? Ooh, that's a good prize, actually. You win a copy of Zero Dark 30. It's Blu-ray. Oh, but it's been opened.
That's all right.
So he watched it, and he probably took the online copy for it. But we'll put you on hold and get your information, all right?
All right. Thanks, E-Rock.
All right. While we look for someone else to go to, Chris, give out a plug again for where you're going to be and how people can see your artwork.
It's going to be Heroes and Villains Fan Fest, Meadowlands Expo Center next weekend, January 23rd, 24th, booth 217. You can find my artwork at chrisramoart.com, facebook.com/chrisramoartfan, at Chris Ramo on Twitter, and at It's Chris Ramo on Instagram.
Now, so most people would not know this, but for the artwork that you do, it's all based on the work you're doing, right? You don't have set prices for the things that you put out there.
No.
Right? So each piece is like you work out at something like this is reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, prints are usually the same, but anything like original, it's kind of like, well, how much time and energy did I put into it,
What was the worst thing somebody wanted you to draw?
Oh God, everything. Any time in like high school, people would ask me to like draw them stuff, and then like now they'll send me a picture of it, and they're like, "I still have this when you drew it for me in like 5th grade." I'm like, "Why do you still have that? Throw it in the garbage."
We had an artist at our booth at New York Comic Con this year, and he was doing sketches for people all day. And some girl came up. She was obsessed with Darth Maul, and she wanted him to draw Darth Maul having sex with her.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do that."
People want you to draw them. That's the other thing too. They're like, "Can you draw me?" And it's like, okay.
That's a whole different.
And then they have like no distinguishable features, so you're just like drawing a generic person. And you can make it. In my eyes, I'm like, that looks like you. They look at it like, that doesn't look like me.
You should just start drawing them as Funko pieces.
Yeah, there you go.
There's your mashup.
2 dots.
Done.
Yeah. Smile.
Trace your hand. Put some feathers. Here's a turkey.
There you go.
Love Chris.
Yeah.
Let's go to Brad in Louisiana. Brad, how are you?
Gentlemen,
how are you?
All right. My parents went to see Blazing Saddles in the theater, expecting a genuine Western. With the campfire scene. They walked out.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's pretty funny.
Wanted to see if you'd ever heard of a movie called The Herod Experiment with Rock Hudson from the 70s.
No.
Oh.
I caught that one on HBO after I had gotten the box open and got my specialty screwdriver and manipulated the pots inside the receiver and, illegally obtaining the channel after it was, cable had just come to the sticks. But, yeah, it was full frontal. Lots and lots of full frontal.
Well,
right.
You may or may not know something about Rock Hudson, sir.
Oh, well, this was pre.
There was pre, all right. I'm sure you really enjoyed it.
I think he was the only
Didn't
one
come
that
out
didn't
right.
have full frontal.
Oh.
There was some pre from Hudson's Rock. Ba-doom-ching.
Tip your waitress?
Are you saying this is a
Top
movie?
of the rock.
Are you saying this is a movie that we should seek out and enjoy?
I think yeah, at least just for the story, if nothing else.
And the visualization.
I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling it.
But it doesn't really fall into something that a kid shouldn't see. I mean, obviously, yes.
Well, clearly it does if there's pre.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'll rephrase it. It's not a movie that a kid would want to see. It's not something that would appeal to a kid, but it is inappropriate.
You'd be amazed. They get into that trance.
He came in the middle of a swimming pool scene when all these people are standing around 70s bushes akimbo. Yeah, you're
Follow the pleasure trail down.
Oh, man.
All right, well, that's interesting.
Bushes akimbo.
He gets a prize for saying akimbo.
Okay.
I'm just picturing that because akimbo means your arms are out like this. So, like, I'm just picturing like the biggest bushes on earth.
Brad,
It's a shrubbery.
It's like, look at that fro. That's on it. No.
Brad, pick a number between 1 and 84.
80.
80, that will go... 80 is gone.
80's gone. Okay, 82.
82, you win a copy... Oh, this is fun. A Blockbuster video copy of Y Tu Mama Tambien.
Ooh, collector's.
Obviously opened.
Yeah.
It'll be cherished. Does it come with the little Blockbuster library card thing in the back to let you know when to return
on it that says Blockbuster Video.
Nice.
Wow, what a difference.
Blockbuster swag. All right.
All right, I'll put you on hold. Do you ever do anything kind of illegal with movie rentals?
Like what, Eric?
Like what?
I have a story, but I'm just asking if anyone else has before I do mine.
Did I ever do anything illegal with movie rentals?
Yeah, I forgot to rewind it once.
Yeah, you were not kind.
Yeah, I was not kind.
Nobody's ever found somebody's card and maybe went and rented movies on their account?
No, I never did that. I never did that.
Okay, well, that would... I'll just say that's the explanation for the Super Nintendo collection that I do have currently.
Jesus.
Fair enough.
Like how recent?
Oh, dude, that was...
Okay, just
hasn't been around for at least 10 years, right?
Well, I think it was like,
4, somewhere in there.
Was it 2005? Yeah, it's about 10 years, sir.
It was like as soon as Netflix became a thing.
You know what? No, yeah, the store. If the store still exists, that's like, where's this Blockbuster? That there's an old mall on in New Jersey, and I don't remember why I wound up near there, but they had a perfectly preserved Sam Goody store.
Wow!
Is it that one in Wayne, the Wayne Town?
I think that might be it.
It's like it's got this weird like neon arch at the front of the mall,
and the yellow lettering right
exactly
where
the
entrance to the store would be. So I think I was just turning around and I went into this parking lot and I couldn't make a left, so I'm trying to get around through and I'll go, "Is that a Sam Goody?" And I walk over there and I'm like, "It's a Sam Goody." So I took a photo of like I just held a bag like I went and shopped at Sam Goody, and where the fuck is a Sam Goody? What time travel did you manage to figure out? But some of these old stores like Blockbusters are preserved because the strip mall died out.
Yep.
And it's just cheaper to leave it there rather than demolish these things. And I saw what was the one you worked at?
Suncoast.
Suncoast Video.
Oh, the best.
There's a mall by me that still has a Suncoast.
Nice.
Active? Mm-hmm. Oh wow. No, this one was dead, but the shelves were still there. Like
that was the best.
The counters, everything was still there. There just was nothing in the
there.
store,
Just
and the lights were off. But you could
That's
look
just
in and go, I could just set up shop. I could open my own store.
You have enough. I've seen your basement.
Well, again, that's going to the museum where people can look at it and not touch anything.
Oh, fair enough.
I still have Eric's VHSs at home that he copied off of TV.
Yes, I used to have that habit of I would tape.
Meticulously numbered and time stamps, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with an old JVC camcorder and a VCR.
No life.
Learn how. Yes, and no life and no friends going out on a weekend. Justin in Oklahoma. Justin, how are you?
Hey, wonderful. How are you guys?
We're doing fine,
Good, thank you.
Well, I was going to say one thing, but since you talked about doing things fishy with Blockbuster videos, my dad used to have a JVC camcorder and a VCR, and he recorded every single movie that came out every single week. So
Yep.
we had copies of everything forever.
And that was just before they figured out, I forgot the term, but when they put the code on the tape, so
Right.
that if you go to transfer it through the auxiliary cables, the screen gets dark, and then it gets light and gets dark, and so you can't get a perfect copy. But then that's when you go to talk to the guy at Radio Shack, and he shows you this one little box that if you plug it in as a midpoint and put some batteries and hit this thing here, guess what? Perfect signal, you get to copy a videotape.
Remember when Radio Shack was relevant?
There's still a Radio Shack in my neighborhood. I walk by it and like, hey, look, it's Radio Shack.
There's one near me too, but I think they're all closing, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
Not all of them, but most of them.
It's
when was the
mostly-
last time you needed a resistor? Let's be honest.
When don't you?
Well,
Sometimes you
That's
need
what I call
adapters.
my wife.
Hey,
Okay.
all right.
We'll give you a prize
I
here,
think we
sir.
beat this to
Pick a
death.
number between 1 and 84.
Let's go with numero uno.
Number 1, you win a DVD copy of American Graffiti. It's been opened and watched, though.
It's a good movie, at least.
It is a good
That's
movie.
a good one.
Okay, put you on hold. I'm trying to think of what else. If there's anything else I ever did at Blockbuster. No, I think that was the only bad thing I ever did. Was I found the card.
I didn't abuse my relationship with Blockbuster. I took care of it. I nurtured it.
Oh, no.
I was also a member of Easy Video. Do you have an Easy Video by you?
No,
we had
a Mr. Video.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about Mr. Video that used to have the floor that would move with Freddy Krueger, and it would scream when you go into the horror section. Yeah. And Brian pointed out they shrunk the store down when it was under new management, turned the horror section into the porn section, but the floor still moved and people were screaming.
Yeah, it still went every time you walked into it, so it was really uncomfortable.
I'm in a haunted porn section.
Yeah.
No, guys, look, babes with balls.
Yeah. You had like your mom and pop video rental things.
They all became porn shacks after a while.
Or, they just lost their spot in the strip mall and became some kind of card shop or a bakery. But I used to love the ones that weren't Blockbuster because you would get the dirtier movies, but you would also find the sections of imports.
Yep.
And I think we talked about with the horror movies too. A lot of the stuff was covered in dust, so you always went down to that that lower shelf in the far corner that nobody bothers to deal with, and you brushing stuff off, and you just look at the box art and go, "I don't know what's going on in this movie. I'm going to rent this tonight."
Kids these days, they just pull it up on their phone. You remember going to Blockbuster or wherever and really wanting that new release, and there were 50 copies, but all of them were out? How disappointed you were?
Oh yeah.
That's terrible.
Or like trying to get it back at night so that you'd get it back on time so you didn't get a fee. And then you have to drop it through the night slot. Yeah, outside the door. Oh, that was always the worst.
And then they would catch on. They said, just because you got it in the night slot doesn't count till tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's when we check it into the computer system.
Or if you're at like Blockbuster and they don't have the movie you want and you hear one come through in that slot, you're like, is that the movie I want? They open it up and you're like, no.
I'm so annoyed because there's a huge line and then you're like...
Is that it?
Yeah, is that the movie?
Stop
Can I please
hovering.
get that? Is that Eraser? I want to see it. I'm trying to think of one other thing I did with Blockbuster. You remember in high school, there was a McDonald's on Main Street in, I guess it was technically Bayshore, but it was on that line of Islip and Bayshore.
Yeah, it was right next to the Blockbuster.
And the Islip High School.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to work there. And then you go down the road just a tiny bit, there's an intersection and then another strip mall there that had Blockbuster in it. And there was a girl that I went to high school with who worked there at Blockbuster. So we worked this deal out where she would come through I used to work the drive-thru. She'd come through the drive-thru and she would order something specific that I knew it was her. So she would do that, order this one thing, and then her rest of her order, she would come up and she would hand me a stack of Blockbuster free rental cards, and I mistakenly forgot to enter in her thing in the computer, and she drove off, and I wasn't paying attention. I apologize. So I was always doing the next order, so that I had that scam going for a little while.
Nice.
All right.
Tricking the system.
It is. And then it's like, hey, I ran out of that. She goes, I gave you 20. I'm like, yeah, they're gone.
Yeah, a lot of new releases last week. So.
Yeah, Blockbuster would still be in business today if it wasn't for Eric.
Don't be cheap.
It's like, I really need to go rent Pilot Wings again for Super Nintendo.
Oh, God, Pilot Wings.
I love that game.
I did, too. The hang gliding was so much fun.
It was fun. Like, yeah, the parachuting.
It was terrible. It was
fun.
It was a good game. Danner, is that your name?
Yeah, you got it.
Danner in Michigan. How are you?
Oh, good, man. Good. On the radio. That's fun.
All right. That's how we feel, too.
I hear you, buddy.
Well, you guys ran through a lot, but the Puppet Master movies, we tricked my mom into thinking they were, like, friendly children's movies. And I remember just masturbating vigorously to, like, the first one.
To the beheading scenes.
Yeah.
Well.
No, it was just riddled with breasts and, softcore sex. And it was, for me, it was awesome. I loved it.
This just went to a dark and sticky place.
Yeah.
And it still is to this day. Danner, pick a number between 1 and 84.
29.
29. You win a copy of Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. It's a DVD, and it's open. So that is all yours. Put you on hold, and we will hook you up with that. Craig in Arizona just wants to say thank you.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Craig.
Well, I did want to say thank you because, Eric, you sent my kids a Transformers video game and actually 6 figures from The Force Awakens. So they had an extra special Christmas because we listened to the Erik Nagel show as we're on the road to go skiing just about every weekend. So I really appreciate that. That was awesome. I actually sent you a picture on Facebook. I don't know if you got it or not, but
I think I remember seeing that.
Yeah, it's really cool though, dude. So I appreciate it because they really dug everything that you sent out to them. So, but anyways, to be on topic, you know what's amazing about this mom and wanting them to refigure an entire movie is that we live in an age where just about every movie like ever made is available to her, so she can't wait, you know, the 6 months or whatever it's going to be for this thing to be on video for her to check it out.
Well,
and,
to be fair, it doesn't come out in a physical copy till I think at least 8 months, right? After the movie's officially out of the theater. And sometimes for a movie like that, it's not going to be in and out of the theater really quick. You probably get a 3-month run out of it.
Unless he's going from 9 to 18 in an 8-month period, it doesn't matter.
No, but he's saying for her to view it so she can determine if the kid can watch it.
But I mean, in that time, we're going to have
spend the money and go see the movie.
I just don't understand it anyway. So that was my thought. It's just wait and see if your kids can watch the stupid movie and don't make an idiot of ourselves trying to reconfigure an entire movie to suit your stupid kids. So.
Exactly.
Well, what are you doing for your kids with this movie? Do they have an interest in Deadpool?
My son would love to see Deadpool because he loves the video game violence and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know a lot about the character, to be totally honest with you. So I'm not a gore fan, so that might hold me back from letting him go see it. But if it weren't for that, I don't have any problem watching. He's actually screaming at me that he loves Deadpool from the back seat. So, but I don't know a lot about this particular character. So that's probably one I would watch first before I let him see it. But once I see it, I really don't have an issue with it. So.
Okay. Right. Well, then you're being a good parent.
I would hope so. I'd like to think so anyway. So
good on you, sir.
Craig, take care, man. We'll talk to you soon, all right?
Cool. Take care.
All right. One more, and then we got to take a break. Do you want to do Blockbuster Video stuff, or do you want another movie selection here? Do you have the thing in front of you? Not really. The call screen.
No. Oh, no, I don't have it. No,
okay.
Whatever. Pick one of them.
Let's see. This one wants to talk about an appropriate movie, Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
You want to do that one?
Yeah, man.
Okay. Kenny in Tennessee. Kenny, how are you?
All right, man. How you doing?
Doing good. What about Roger Rabbit?
What about the way that Jessica Rabbit looked? Don't tell me you ain't never rubbed one out there.
There's a lot of Roger Rabbit besides the way that Jessica Rabbit looked that's probably inappropriate. But Roger Rabbit, I think, does a good job of kind of
blurring the line.
Yeah, well, it could be for multiple audiences. Like, I think little kids won't get the innuendo, and the adults will appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, there's enough there for two audiences. But certainly there was some content in there that was. I was freaked out actually when the judge got dipped.
Oh, yeah.
It freaks me out.
Yeah.
That was like Large Marge again.
It was.
Exactly.
Because it was like the same kind of freak out type thing.
And the daggers, the high-pitched screaming, oh, no!
Yeah. Because it was like that weird combo of like animation and real life that they didn't really master yet, so it was just really freaky. It was jarring.
It was, even with the dip scene, but before the dip scene, after the bulldozer ran him over, and he just kind of, this little flat thing
popped up,
and then he looked, and the eyes popped out, and you just see them rolling on the floor. And then it cuts him, his eyes are glowing.
Oh, yeah.
So before he even becomes the crazy cartoon and everything, just this thin thing that turns sideways and looks at you, almost like, like the Terminator or something like that. I could see how that would freak you out.
What about the inspector always drinking all the time? You think that would maybe hurt somebody's feelings nowadays?
No, they got to learn somewhere. Sir.
Well, on that IMDb page, it would be under the beer section or the alcohol and drug section or whatever the hell it is. But whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure the alcohol drug section, like everyone was on alcohol and drugs.
He was an alcoholic, wasn't he?
I think so.
Wasn't he an alcoholic in Roger Rabbit?
Eddie.
I just classified under a good time.
Kenny, pick a number between 1 and 84. We got to take a break.
37.
You win a copy of Knocked Up, the extended unrated edition on
give
DVD.
That out last week?
I thought so.
I thought we gave that out last week.
There's 2 copies of that.
Okay.
Nice.
So, all right, we'll put you on hold here. We do have to take a break. Chris is going to be appearing. Give out that information so you can check out his artwork and say hi to Chris and throw some money his way.
Yes, please. I need to feed my children.
Where are you going to be?
It's Heroes and Villains Fan Fest. It's January 23rd to 24th at Meadowlands Expo Center, booth 217.
There you go. And Chris Ramo, R-A-I-M-O, art on Twitter. It's Chris Ramo on Instagram, and chrisramoart.com for the website. You can check out his stuff, get in contact with him, and maybe commission some stuff from him.
Yes, please.
That would be good. Those of you on hold, if you want to continue through the break, we'll get to you. Otherwise, we'll move on to some other things. And anything on the top of your head there, Matt, that you want to get to next segment?
I want to get to that lotto story.
Powerball thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll touch on that too. Give us a call, 866-969-1969. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to It's Erik Nagel. That is me, Matt OG, and Giddles. 866-969-1969 is the phone number. We still got some stuff to give away and some stuff to talk about. And our friend Chris Ramo is here, artist. It's amazing work. We're just looking at some of the stuff that he handed us here. And Chris was nice enough to give us some copies of Ash from the Evil Dead franchise with the chainsaw in his hand. And then also for wrestling fans, Undertaker and Paul Bearer. And you drew all of this. This is all you.
It's all me.
That is amazing stuff.
Thank you.
So I think we'll do these on Twitter and give these away.
Okay. That's cool.
We'll do this for the phones right now, but this stuff will follow us this weekend. You want to do it on yours?
Yeah, sure.
All right, get Matt OG's numbers up a little bit there.
Geek Stuff OG on Twitter and Instagram. We'll do a little bit in both spots. How about that?
We'll start everything off on the show account and then direct you to Matt, and Matt will take care of the rest of that this weekend to give away some of this fine artwork by our pal Chris Ramo. It's Chris Ramo, RAIMO art.com. Check that out.
Nice.
A lot of stuff happened this week. Powerball, people dying, Golden Globe. Golden Globe no one cares about anymore.
Everybody died.
Oh, my God. What a depressing
Grizzly
week.
Adams died today.
He had a beard.
Did he?
He did.
I mean, I knew he had a beard. I didn't know he died.
Yeah, he
You know
died
who
today.
died? The guy who voiced Robin Hood from Disney's Robin Hood died like 2 days ago. That was really depressing for me.
Yeah.
Who is he? Is he just the guy who did Robin Hood?
No, he also voiced, he did something for Jungle Book, and he did he did a bunch of Disney movies in that era of
So he's a big
movies.
voiceover guy.
He was a big voiceover guy, yeah. But Robin Hood is the one that stood out the most for me.
Oh, the animated Robin
The
Hood.
animated
I'm
Robin
thinking
Hood,
like
yeah,
the...
yeah. No,
The one that
Robin
Big
Hood.
Kev loves.
No, that's Errol Flynn.
Errol Flynn, yeah.
No, and then Alan Rickman was in that other Robin Hood.
Yes, and he died.
And he died as well.
Which was sad, because then
David Bowie never in a Robin Hood movie, as far as I know.
No.
He was in Labyrinth.
He was in Labyrinth.
Which doesn't tie
He
at
was
all.
the Goblin King.
No, when Alan Rickman died, I was sitting there and I was like, oh man. And then I started thinking, everybody, Hans Gruber, I guess would be his most, I don't know if it would be his most famous role, right?
No, Snape. Are you out of your brain?
Yes, Snape.
Okay, well,
Snape is his most
at least from
famous role.
online, when he died, everybody was doing Hans Gruber.
I think it's like
stuff,
two
right?
different things he's most known
Yeah.
for. It's
All right,
like,
generationally, it's different,
yeah.
all right? Yes, of course, Snape. But then I was like, I loved him as Marvin in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I loved him as the Metatron in Dogma.
Galaxy Quest.
I loved him in Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
I loved him as the cheater in Love Actually. Am I right, guys? Just me?
Just
He didn't even give it time to sit. He's like, all right, punch it out.
That's all you. They're Rev.
Lewis, actually.
And then, and of course, Robin Hood. And looking back at that, anytime somebody dies, you're like, unless you really love the person, it depends on your reaction when you first hear the news. It's like, oh my God, that person died, or oh, that's what do I know him from, or what work did he do that connects with? You try to find the connection to the person that passed on.
Alan Rickman hit really hard.
It kind of did.
That was a hard one.
David Bowie, not so much.
I liked Bowie. I was a fan of his music, but
I understood his importance.
Yeah, I just that one didn't hit me as personally.
Right. I mean, it sucks, and
Yeah,
I do
of
like a
course.
lot of his music. There's a lot of his music, especially if you've been listening to Bennington all week.
Mm-hmm.
You know how deep they go into music and stuff like that. And there's some songs, of course, that I knew, and there's some stuff that I didn't know. I don't know the guy's catalog very well. I know he's very beloved.
But I think it was like more of just who he was. Like, I mean, yeah, everyone loved his music and his acting, but he was just a person who encapsulating just being yourself and just like saying like, fuck it, I don't care what you
did
think.
whatever
like,
he
was
wanted.
like the original YOLO, you know what I mean? Like, like he literally like every day was like, this is what I'm gonna do. Fuck it.
Ziggy Stardust?
Yeah, you know what
no
I mean?
one's gonna
Like-
buy this shit.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't care. I'm going to do it, and he did it.
And he did
it. So much to the fact that, what was it, last year or 2 years ago? One of the astronauts performed Space Oddity up in zero gravity, and that video went everywhere. So the guy's work and influence, transcends anything you could possibly think of, and always will. He's one of those guys that even in the future, if your kid's listening to modern music of the time, but then they look back and they know the importance of the Beatles or Elvis or the Rolling Stones, he's going to be one of those guys that you look back and you don't go, oh, that's that corny shit my parents or my grandparents used to listen to. So him dying was, important and sad. Again, didn't really affect me like it did a lot of other people. And then you see a lot of people who I had no idea were even David Bowie fans all showing up on your social media, posting like album covers or things like that.
Well, I think that's like the whole, I don't know,
I
the
need to be
social
a part
media.
of this
I need
thing.
to be a part of it, even though I know nothing about
I didn't know what to do. I guess I'm a little guilty of that because I didn't know what to do for it, but I knew I liked him in Twin Peaks. He was in Fire Walk with Me, so I just took a screenshot of that and I put it up there, and they're like, Twin Peaks? He's like, he's done everything. It's like,
the Sovereign.
One guy wrote, I was like, he was a musician? People get mad.
I loved him in Extras. Did you ever see when he had his
yes. That went everywhere too.
Fat Man about Ricky Gervais.
It's one of my favorite moments from that series.
Good. He was great in Prestige
Everybody,
too.
And they all just chime in, and he's just sitting there all annoyed.
Tesla.
Another name of somebody who passed that got little to no attention, and I'm guilty of this as well because I didn't know he died till days after. Do you know who Pat Harrington is?
No.
Anybody?
The name sounds familiar.
Okay. Snyder from One Day at a Time.
Oh.
You remember him?
I do.
Vaguely?
Yeah.
Or did you watch the show?
I did watch One Day at a Time.
Okay. Snyder was a superintendent of an apartment complex.
Yeah, he was the super.
He had a pack of cigarettes always rolled up in the white sleeve of his shirt.
He wore like the blue vest over the
He had a denim vest and the big suede utility belt and the keys that were on the string.
The big porn mustache too. Didn't he have a
he was a creepy
mustache?
dude, always trying to hit up Mrs. Romano. Despite the fact that she had a boyfriend, he goes, I know when they leave. I'm paying attention to your apartment.
Creeper.
But he died. And I think that's it for recently.
Well, either way, it's sad. Can we move past sad?
I know, Facebook's New Year's resolution is like, I'm going to be an obituary page. It's like, oh, this is sad.
I died, me. Friend me on Facebook. Powerball.
Yes, Powerball.
Come and gone.
It did.
We
talked about it at the top of the hour. We didn't win, just to recap.
Yeah, just to recap, we did not win.
They thought it wouldn't get as high as it did as far as last week's jackpot. And somebody will win, it didn't. And then it went 1.5 or something. Billion. Now, before the drawing even happened, the day it was supposed to happen, the morning news already had, if it doesn't hit this week, it's $2 billion. And everyone's like, I'm getting one in for $2 billion. It's like, how about you see if anyone wins the damn thing first before you start promoting next week?
You gotta keep the story going, Eric. It's gotta be a story every day.
It comes and goes, and like I said earlier, if you didn't happen to hear it, I'll recap. I think it was ABC 7 here in New York when they started. It was maybe 10, 15 minutes after the numbers were announced. They said, there is a winner in Powerball, but unless you live in Chino Hills, California, it's not you. And I'm like, why are you why am I going to sit there and watch your newscast when you're taunting me that I'm not a billionaire? And then a few hours later, a couple other people won and all that stuff. Yeah. And then the infamous story of the people getting the numbers wrong in New Jersey, where they were celebrating, and then it turns out that whole thing was a bust. That was fun to see those people's spirits crushed. It was wrong, but I loved it.
Fun. I was kind of depressing to watch, actually, because you're watching it knowing that something terrible is going to happen.
It's a viral video, so it's not real. Yeah, it's for YouTube.
That's it.
It was funny, though.
So that was going on. And then there's one particular person that Matt brought to my attention involved with the Powerball frenzy.
Well, I don't remember her name, but it was this woman who spent her entire savings on Powerball tickets. And if you read the interviews that she's been doing, she's like, I spent all my money on the Powerball tickets, assuming I was going to win. I knew I was going to win. And then, of course, she didn't win. And so now she has a GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
And people are giving her money.
Why?
What is wrong with people?
I don't know, but I'm going to start a GoFundMe page. I feel like I should just do it.
You should.
Like internet grifting. Like,
That's
it sounds like a great
I didn't
idea.
buy the ticket, but I think I could have won. Please donate.
the audacity of people, I mean, part of me almost hopes it's some sort of weird social experiment. Like at the end, it's going to be like, assholes. You know, I didn't spend a dime on Powerball, but you just bought me a yacht.
It was set up by Banksy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the worst part was it was only like $800 too. Like that was all she was asking for. Her life savings was only $800. It was pretty bad.
The next morning, I'm listening to, here in New York, there's an all-news station, 1010 Wins, and I listen to that as I'm driving into work. And in 22 minutes, they give you the world.
Yeah. They do. It's true.
And they're doing the Powerball story, and they're getting people's reaction on the street to not winning Powerball. Why that is a news piece, but you gotta love John Montone.
Was it John Montone?
It's always
Nice.
John Montone, because the day before, he was in Times Square. No, he was on the upper... Times Square or the Upper West Side, maybe he was bouncing between both, giving away Powerball tickets. And then the next day, he's talking to the same people that go to work or are out there working at that time. You didn't win. Why did you tell me about it? Go fuck yourself, John Montone.
You have far too much emotion in your voice to do John Montone right there.
I know. They've done it when O&A was around. I don't want to go into that. But yeah, John Montone. So they announce everything, and everybody's all miserable. And it had me thinking, it's just a matter of time before the late night shows and Twitter and everything are going to start mocking the person who wins the $220 million Powerball that happens next week or something like that.
Well, what is that statistic? If you win the lottery over a certain amount, like you don't live like past a year and a half?
Yeah, they talked about that in Open Gym this week, that there's a curse. I think it was Erik Nagel was saying that there's a curse on lottery winners that you die within the year that you get your winnings.
Right.
A curse or a hit?
No.
Both.
Curse, quote unquote.
It's either you die or you end up like taking out trash in 3 years, like being a janitor somewhere because you just blew all your money on like hookers and...
what a great 3 years.
No, you just stop there. Hookers.
That's just hookers?
Maybe blow.
But
there's hookers.
Mostly hookers.
That's what you do.
Fair enough.
And then whatever you can throw into a tax shelter so that you don't lose your house.
There you go.
So, yeah, I would not donate for the fact that I spent a lot. And I'll admit, I spent a lot of money, more money than I should have on Powerball tickets.
Sure.
Not an obscene amount, but enough that a regular person would be like, that was just, you went nuts with it. And I got lotto fever. I spent the week before $102 on the Powerball tickets, but the $3 games. So it was 34 $3 games, because I didn't realize it last week that the power play doesn't mean that if you won $1.5 billion, you got $5 billion. It meant that if you won $50,000, you could get $150,000.
Right.
Didn't win then.
Still nothing to balk at, you understand.
Yes, but then stupid me did it again the next week for the billion.
Right.
And you can imagine the looks that I got when I came home. And so I spent another $102 on that. And I'm happy to say that I did get some numbers.
Okay.
And in the whole scheme of things, I'm only down $4.
Oh, well, look at you. So it was almost a worthwhile investment.
No, it was completely stupid. I look back and I kicked myself. I'm like, why I got caught up in that? And I just thought it was being fun. I did. I had the fever. I'm not doing a cowbell joke. I had the fever.
Come on, I set you up for it.
I could do the Hot Action Cop song Fever for the flavor. But yeah, so now I'm thinking, I'm like, will I do this again? And again, people are going to be mocking on social media and late night talk shows. Oh, the Powerball is only, $170 million. I'm still going to try to go for the $170 million because most people are going to look at it and go, I'm not wasting my money. I'll wait till it rises again. And that's the time you strike, and that's the time you win.
The higher the jackpot gets, your odds...
The sweeter the juice?
Your odds decrease exponentially each time. You're actually better off playing when it's not as big. Your odds are better.
Remember that one time, Brian... this was before, I guess, the radio job, and we went to a bodega, and I wasn't doing too well financially, so I decided to fake that I won off a scratch-off, and then I scratched it, and it was 1 Liberty Bell, and then it was 2 Liberty Bells, and then I put my thumb over the cherry and went, woohoo, 3 Liberty Bells, and I tried to convince the guy that I won, and it didn't work out.
I'm pretty sure that was Homer.
Maybe that's what it was. I get confused.
You are looking a little yellow there. Can we move forward?
Powerball. Powerball. Escape the Room. I wanted to bring that up.
Yes, can we do it?
Who posted the link to me to the Instagram?
There's a place in New Jersey, another place in New Jersey.
It's everywhere everywhere.
I know.
Like, I went online. There's like every single small town's like escape the room.
But there's a place following me now, like actively.
They follow me too.
Yeah, they did follow me too because I liked one of the photos.
Yeah, we have to go.
Escape the follow.
We have to figure out what's the maximum number of people for the hardest challenge they offer, and then just go as a large group.
It's usually like 10.
Is it 10?
Usually like 10 to 12.
All right, we can get.
There was one photo. They try not to give away the rooms because they don't want you to figure out stuff. But they did a quick shot of one of the rooms, and all I saw was a fallen sarcophagus and an unlit torch.
Nice.
And I was like, well, if we can't figure this out, we will burn our way out of Escape the Room.
Have you ever done Escape the Room?
No, but there's one right by me too.
Yeah.
It's fun.
All right, so we're going to have to set up an outing.
We're going to have to set up an outing.
Now,
I'm going to one in 2
Show
weeks.
outing.
You are?
Yeah, there's one in the city. It's like some big competition. Apparently, I signed up to be in an Escape the Room competition. I don't know why.
Did you do it in your sleep? How do you apparently sign up for something?
It's the same way he winds up in like taco takedowns.
Yeah, and you know what? I am actually a last minute contender in the soup takedown Sunday, and I don't have a recipe, but we'll get to that later.
Alan Hardy.
Yeah, but my friends just are like, hey, we got you a ticket to this. So, and I looked it up, and it's like a competition. There's like 15 teams, and it's in the Highline Ballroom, and the entire room is just open, and you just have to figure out all the clues. So I have no idea what the fuck it's going to be like.
This sounds like a trap.
I want to go to there.
Yeah.
It's like you go in there and they smoke the room out. It's population control.
They just take off everyone's shoes.
This is Eli Roth's next movie.
This is The Purge. That's exactly what this is. Free tickets and then they gas you.
Yeah. We got to go.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's do Escape the Room.
When
now,
Lisa's back.
Yeah.
So we go as a show?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
All right, and if it's good, then do we open it up and try to do it with the listeners?
Absolutely.
Yeah. If they wanna come out.
We could do a tour.
Yeah, I'm down. 100%.
Different places. All right. I just want to go back real quick. John in Florida has a story. John?
Hey there, Erik Nagel, the backbone of the Opie and Jimmy show.
I will go with that. What's up?
Hey, man, I want to let you know, we do weird shit down here in Florida. Of course, you know.
Everything in Florida is weird, sir. Most of those news stories come from your state.
Yes, it does. There was a couple of guys down here in the Tampa Bay area that spent $70,000 on lotto tickets, and not one of their tickets hit for anything.
Oh. Not even the $4 Powerball.
I almost wonder if it's worse that they didn't hit for anything, or if they had only hit for like $1 on one ticket. I think the dollar would have been worse. That's really like a slap.
Yeah. No, not even winning a dollar, winning a free ticket.
A free ticket, there you go.
Like you don't even get the dollar
off.
back. That's crazy.
Stupid Floridians. No offense to anybody in Florida.
No, you can. They're not going to do anything about it.
If anything, they'll just buy more subscriptions to the show.
John, let me give you something. Pick a number between 1 and 84.
I'm going to go with numero uno.
We did one already, sir.
All right. How about 5?
5. You win a copy of Anthony Bourdain's The Layover Season 1.
Ah, very good.
All right. We'll put you on hold and get your information. I am tired.
Are you tired?
It has been a long day.
Are you excited for the new Cloverfield movie that dropped on us today?
I am, because I have no idea what the hell's going on in this
actually
thing.
a Cloverfield movie, though?
Chris, did you see this?
Did you see this trailer?
I just watched it literally before we came here.
If you want to follow along with this, it's up online right now. Just put the film is called 10 Cloverfield.
10 Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
Okay, that too. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Watch the trailer. It's not that long, but it'll catch you up real quick.
John Goodman is in it, so that's an automatic
I love John
sell.
Goodman.
So do I.
I like the creepy cover in it. I thought it was a good creepy cover. I can't remember which one it is offhand right now.
We're almost ready for that bit, by the way.
The creepy
I've
cover
got
bit?
the creepy cover bit.
All right.
I have so many songs. In fact, we used one last week for when we spoke to Chloe Grace Moretz. What was her movie called? The Fifth Wave. Sorry, has a really creepy cover of Flock of Seagulls, I Ran.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so we'll put the whole thing together, and then we'll bring that here to the show.
Nice.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I actually didn't really like the first Cloverfield, but this trailer I'm actually really excited for. So
I'm still not
I don't like
convinced
found
it's
footage.
actually a sequel, though.
I think it is.
I don't think... I don't know.
I read that it's not a sequel, but it's events that are taking place in the same time that the monsters attack you.
Yeah, but I heard years ago... I mean,
maybe this is the meteor
when
that we
was
see.
Cloverfield was 2007, right?
Something like that, yeah.
That's
I heard years ago when it was another rumor of the sequel that the sequel was supposed, or at least people thought it was going to be, there's a scene in the movie where T.J. Miller's behind the camera.
Yeah.
And he's on the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yes.
Right? And it's before the monster attacks. And he runs into some other dude that has a camera. And they're looking at each other, not moving the camera, and like, I don't know what's going on, like whatever their conversation was.
Yeah.
And then that guy runs past TJ, and as he's standing there, then the tentacle from the alien starts ripping the bridge apart, whatever. The movie was supposed to be from that other perspective.
Right.
So it was the same event, just a different perspective. Now, what Brian's saying, he's hearing that again, but is that the old rumor that's for the new trailer? Could that actually be what's going on?
Well, this is not a found footage
It's
film.
not found footage. Like, it all takes place in that house. So
In that
it's like
bunker.
it's a bunker.
It's a bunker or
bomb shelter,
yeah.
whatever it is, yeah. So, I don't know.
I'm just...
I feel like the fact that it's Bad Robot and it's J.J. Abrams' company, it's produced by him, and it has the name Cloverfield in it. It's just like, I don't know. That seems way too obvious.
But Cloverfield was like the name of the
field.
Right. I don't know. It feels weird. Like I feel like it's a big ruse. Like it's not going to actually be Cloverfield.
I mean, it is J.J. Abrams. Who knows? It could be a sequel to
clearly
Super 8.
something is on the other side of the door. If you've seen the trailer, right? Don't go out there,
It's a weird trailer. For those who haven't seen it, here's a quick description of it. So you don't know it's a bunker at first. You think it's just a family at home. It's a father, a daughter, and a son. And as they're doing just mundane things in a house, and then all of a sudden, like, they're all happy, and then the tone starts to change a little bit, and they start showing more of the interior, and you see the roof's kind of curved. So now they pull back a little bit and go, are they in a bunker or some kind of military thing? And you're like, what's going on? And then all of a sudden the demeanor starts to change, where now she's getting pissed off at John Goodman, who you think is her father or something.
Yeah.
And then he starts getting mad at her because she wants to get out of this bunker, and that's where it starts to escalate.
First of all, I started having flashbacks to Lost. It felt very much inside the hatch.
Yeah.
Hit the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, there's one girl that's like chained up, but I think there's another girl I don't know. It looks really bizarre.
I know. I watched this this horror movie recently called Hidden, and it's got one of the Skarsgårds, and I can't remember which one. Not Alexander, the other one. And it takes place like the same thing, where these people in a bunker, and there's people trying to get them from the outside. And it looked really similar to that. So I'm hoping it's not like something in that vein, because it was really good. But I just don't want to see that movie again.
That movie you're talking about? Was that like a nuclear fallout thing? That those were the people that survived it and they were trying to get in?
Do you want me to spoil it for you?
How old is the movie?
It just came out this year. I found it online, so I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. It might be a straight-to-DVD movie, but it turns out that basically, there's like a nuclear fallout thing, and the people who were hiding were actually the ones the government were trying to get because they were contaminated and can still infect everyone else. So It turns out you think that there's all these like mutants trying to get them, but it actually turns out it's the government trying to kill them so that they don't make more mutants.
All right.
That's that movie Hidden. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Giddles every now and then finds these gems and
nuggets
that nobody's talking about, and some are just ridiculous, and others are like, "Wow, that was really."
Some
good.
people read the front page of Reddit. I go to the back page. I'm like, let's see what's going on back here. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a weird
back
movie.
page. That's where all those prostitution things are happening.
Yeah.
The deep dark corner of Reddit.
So.
It looks cool. I just don't know. I'm just not 100% convinced. That's all I'm saying.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Cloverfield.
Well, the trailer ends. I would play, but it's all visual.
Yeah, it's all visual.
The trailer ends where she makes a break for it. She gets out of this door.
She gets out of the first door. She makes it to the second door that has a window.
It's almost like a compression chamber.
And John
kind
Goodman
of
is yelling at her, "Don't go out there. They'll get you," or something like that.
But
and
then it turns, and he's yelling, "Don't open the goddamn door!" And it's like, "They'll kill us all." But it looks like she locked them out.
Well,
it did it like a reverse of the trailer. Like she was looking to get out, and then the way the door closed, it looked like she locked them out, and she's back inside.
It was like a bunker with two levels, right? So there's an outside door to the outside, and then there's a door into the bunker, and it's probably
so that's
sealed.
The second door.
Yeah, it's the second door. So she goes out one door, and then she's about to open that second door, and she's looking out the window and sees whatever she sees.
So I'm wondering if...
And it's coming out in like 2 months.
It's coming out in March, which I think is just crazy. I feel like everyone's talking about, Beyonce dropped this album without Denver. He dropped the whole movie without anyone knowing about it. And that's like a lot of people in production.
Yeah.
I'm just, the line, "they'll kill us all." So it means it implies not just like the monster.
It could be anything.
Or the things that were flaking off the monster.
It could be the monster. It could be it could be anything.
Could it be that
maybe it's those spider things from the subway tunnels?
That's what I'm talking about. Those are the things that flaked off the monster. Could it be that this alien thing didn't just drop, that they knew about this, or this was some kind of government thing, and that he knew that this drop was about to happen? So all this is taking place before Cloverfield monster starts hitting New York?
Well, what if it just turns out that the Cloverfield monster in New York was just the one monster in New York, but there's monsters all over the country because there was a gigantic invasion that no one knows about?
When the rumors of the first time around, when the rumors of a sequel, that it was going to be that other kid's footage, but then everyone started saying, well, what if the thing fell in Los Angeles or in other countries and stuff like that? So I wondered about that too. You don't know where they are.
But we won't have to wait long.
Yeah, because it's like a month and a half. Yeah. But I just feel like it's going to be Cloverfield because that was the first name that popped up when the name of the movie came up. It was like Cloverfield, and then it was 10, and then it was Lane. Right. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I do want to...
But JJ is so sneaky. It could be a ruse.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be she goes out the door, a white light lens flare, and
everybody's having a picnic.
It turns into a totally different movie.
They're playing hopscotch. It's in black and white. No, wait, that was Pleasant.
You're on the Carousel of Progress.
I'm sorry.
She just gets torn away, screaming, wakes up on a desert planet, and there's a little robot with a top on his neck.
Who was the TV repairman? Was it Don Knotts?
It was Don Knotts.
It was, right? Yeah. I loved Pleasantville.
It's online. It was a great movie.
That was a great movie. Especially when she was crying. Was it the mom? Who was crying in black and white, as she was crying, the colors starting to come through.
Yeah, that's cool.
Jeff Daniels, that was a really good movie.
It was domestic abuse without being domestic abuse. Like, you really started hating the father.
Well, yeah, it was
until he started to come around and realize that he was being an asshole. But they painted a great job of him being a dick without him actually physically having to do the things that make you hate him in that way.
Indeed, sir.
I also want to say I do appreciate your love of John Goodman.
How could you not love
Arachnophobia?
Except for Arachnophobia.
I love
Fuck
Arachnophobia.
him and that movie right in the eye.
Oh, right.
With a hot poker.
Matt has a spider issue.
I rewatched that recently. It's hilarious.
I hate it.
Matt has
spiders.
a spider issue.
I don't like them. Even though my favorite superhero is Spider-Man. Go figure. But I hate real spiders. So there you go.
I don't like them either.
Okay. I loved him. Obviously, Big Lebowski.
All the Coen Brother movies.
Right.
Barton Fink, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I'm going to tell we're going to see an R-rated movie. Yeah, where's the PG-13 version of Barton Fink, huh? Where's
King
that
Ralph.
thing?
I loved King Ralph.
That's exactly where I was going with. People hated King Ralph, and it became a joke in a lot of movies in the mid-'90s, because it was an early 90s movie.
Sure.
And then you would see the poster as a goof, like, ripped it in a video store or on somebody's wall or something like that, King Ralph.
Yep.
I actually liked King Ralph. It was a dumb premise, but the fact that he had a bowling alley in Buckingham Palace and then he's going out and singing karaoke.
That was terrible. It's right up there with Disorderlies.
It's a movie I love to hate to watch. It's a good, bad movie.
I think.
Yeah, it's a good, bad movie to watch, especially if it's late at night and you're watching like TBS or something and you're like, you know what? I think I can watch King Ralph tonight. Anything good?
No, it's just on the official Cloverfield poster. It just says monsters come in many forms. So it's even more vague.
I don't think it's related to Cloverfield. I think it's the ruse that JJ is pulling on all of us. I'm sticking to that theory.
What could it be then?
What could it be?
What's in the box?
Maybe it's like maybe it's Salem's Lot or Children of the Corn.
I don't know.
Kid horror movies are creepy.
I just don't know.
No, the People Under the Stairs is fucking hilarious though. If you go back and rewatch that.
I don't think I ever saw that.
Oh, man.
What was Roach?
Yeah.
Right? Wasn't that his name? Roach? The guy had his
what was the Stephen... Oh, Tommy Knockers.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I was thinking of. Good stuff.
Good
Hi, Chris.
stuff.
Hey.
You can chime in at some point.
Well, some of these movies you guys are talking about, I have no idea what you're talking about.
You never saw King Ralph? Sir, you haven't lived.
I was going to chime in on that one. I remember McDonald's would have like their VHS, like
Burger King.
Was it Burger King?
Burger King was the King Ralph tie into it.
I remember getting
Yep.
it that way, but I couldn't tell you anything about that movie. But now I want to like go home and
I wonder if it's
watch
on
it
Netflix. I kind of want to. I was thinking of seeing Hateful Eight this weekend, but I want to go see King Ralph again.
If it's on Netflix, I'd absolutely watch it.
I'd watch it too.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I got my weekend planned.
It's a terrible, cliche, stupid premise, but it's John Goodman. How could you not?
King Ralph on Blu-ray.
That's
got to be
what I'm
somewhere.
screaming. That's what I'm
Someone's
screaming.
got to own that.
Yeah, someone.
It's part of a $5 six-pack that you would find in
Like Walmart.
Walmart,
That's
yeah.
that big bin. You
The
have to,
John
like,
Goodman
comb
4-pack.
through- Yeah.
It's like arachnophobia, that.
We're almost out here. What other trailers came out that people should check out? There's the Daredevil 2 trailer if you're a fan of that, or if you haven't even watched it, it's on Netflix. Check that out.
Yeah, I went and saw Revenant last week, and I really didn't see too many trailers that.
Red Dead the movie.
Red Dead the movie? Is that what that is?
That's what I've been calling it. It's Red Dead Redemption the movie.
Basically.
Yeah.
I didn't see any good trailers.
I've not heard a bad thing about that movie.
Dude, it's crazy.
Everybody, just the word of mouth. Like, I didn't read online reviews or stuff, but everyone that did go to see it, and they exactly what you said. It's like, you need to. This is a movie that is meant to be in the theater to watch, sit and get that experience.
Yeah, the cinematography was amazing. Like, hands down, it was very well shot. There's still like frames that I remember vividly in my head with like this tree in the foreground, the mountain. It was really beautiful, but it was like the first movie I've seen in theaters since Raid 2 where people were openly gasping at the violence. Like, when it would happen, people would be like, "Oh my god!" Like, holy shit! You just hear this throughout the whole movie because a fight scene would start and then just limbs get hacked. It's just brutal.
Well, the trailer alone was well shot because, I mean, the scenes that they took, because he's just sleeping, he wakes up, there's people coming after him, and all of a sudden they're just people shooting for no reason. He hops on a horse, the horse doesn't know where he's going, and they fall off a cliff, and then it's Revenant.
Yeah, that's kind of...
I'm like, okay, I don't know what happened, but I need to see this movie at all costs.
Yeah, it's great. I really enjoyed it.
Anything else before we get out of here?
The bear attack in that movie was crazy. It was like the fight from They Live. It just didn't end. I was sitting there like, oh my god, will this bear please stop attacking this poor dude?
Back
like, it was
to
just
bears again.
So many bears.
I'm going to say before next week, everybody should play Pocket Mortys, and then we'll talk about it next week.
That's what you call it.
Heyo.
Heyo.
Pocket Morty. It's the new Rick and Morty game that Adult Swim put out for your phone, iPad.
And it's completely addictive and awesome.
Android.
It's Pokemon you're not embarrassed to play.
That's it. That's it.
Also, the opening, outside of the title sequence, the opening song for the game is our friends Chaos.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
When they came in and performed, that's the song they're using in the game, which is pretty cool to hear.
That's kind of awesome.
So, yeah, check out Pocket Morty. You'll be glad you did, and say goodbye to your loved ones and maybe your job.
That's it.
Because I downloaded it the night that it was announced. I'm laying in bed watching TV. I was like, all right, I'll download the new Rick and Morty thing, and I started playing it for maybe 5 minutes and realized, oh my god, this is really good. I have to turn my phone off now or I'll never get to sleep.
I have Telekinetic Morty, Feral Morty, and Cat Morty currently in my holster of Mortys.
I've seen the one true Morty on Reddit. He's got like gold like bling. He's like, yeah.
And Shoe. Oh wait, that was South Park.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go around the room and give the plugs out here. Let's start with our guest first, Chris Rameo.
Rainbow.
Rameo.
Oh my god, what
Jesus.
I thought you were just kidding.
Oh, no, I have been
that's
sleeping.
a classic Iraq
that is,
brain fart.
that is he adds letters. He changes names.
I mean, I've heard Ramos before,
I quit.
but Ramiro? Wow.
That was a great plug.
Oh my god, I went through a period where Lisa Carrero on our show, I added extra R's for no reason for her name, and it took, like, she was too polite to...
Did he just do it? Did he just add the R? I think
No,
he did.
Carrero. Yeah. And I added, it was calling Carrero, like, or whatever, and to the point that Brian just said, you should just call her R. Sorry, Chris, give out your plug
That's okay,
stuff. I've been up since 4:45.
Let the man speak.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Erik Nagel. It's ChrisRamoArt.com, at It's Chris Ramo on Instagram, Facebook.com/Chris Ramo Art Fan, at Chris Ramo Art on Twitter, and come see me next weekend, booth 217, Heroes and Villains Fan Fest.
All right, Matt OG.
Geekstuff OG on the Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope. I try to keep it consistent.
Nice.
Follow me over there, and of course, every Thursday, new episodes of Big Kev's Geek Stuff, the podcast that I've been doing for almost 10 years, almost 400 episodes, goes online, so check that out.
Also follow Geek Stuff OG on Twitter this weekend, as we're going to give away some of Chris's art. Also follow It's Erik Nagel. We'll let you know when it's happening.
Yep.
And Matt will take care of this. Some nice art pieces of Ash from Evil Dead and The Undertaker and Paul Bearer. So a little something for everybody there. Indeed. Look for that. Giddles?
Gittlebase on the Twitter, Instagram, and Xbox 360 now. Nice. That's right. And I got a soup takedown coming up Sunday that I just got thrown into this week because someone dropped out and I don't have a recipe. So if anyone wants to come out and try mystery soup, I'm making it Sunday at the Royal Palm Shuffleboard Club. We'll see what happens.
All right. Also, check out the series premiere of Billions on Showtime this Sunday at 10 p.m. Thank you to Dan Soder, Catherine Callahan, and Brian Koppelman for calling in. Check out the brand new show there, and hope you enjoy it. It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. We put up a bunch more of our interviews.
We did.
We're finally catching up on that, so that's all up there. The show will be available later on SiriusXM on demand. I think that is it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounds good enough. Until next time, everybody, be seeing you.